friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction live stream number 27. That in that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. Welcome in once again, Bean Team, to another live stream on another good Saturday. And before I even continue, y'all, give me 1 second. I'm back, Bean Team. I forgot to turn my audio down on my speakers. I don't know if it was being a reverb or whatever, but we got that under control. I digress on that. Like I was saying, welcome in once again, my friends, to another live stream on another good Saturday. I'm happy y'all here once again. And y'all already know that I got to go to the comment section first and foremost and give a shout out to Vendetta Odin says, always good choices these channels are. Let's get it. Yes, Vendetta. Shout out to Vendetta because Vendetta been watching these live streams for a long time now. But these channels that we are going to, y'all, hey, we got a lot of catching up to do, man. All these channels have dropped new videos that I have not watched yet, and I'm very, very excited to get into them with y'all on this Saturday. Then we got Futuristic 80s Excited Stack. Shout out to Futuristic 80s, a member of the Bean Team All-Stars, I might add. Shout out to you, Futuristic 80s. Happy you are here also. Then we got our girl, Lava Elite Galaxy. Woo woo. I'm excited. Unfortunately, I'm too broke to pay my membership right now. I should be able to again soon though. Hey, Live, no sweat. I thank you for whenever you can pay your membership to be a Bean Team All-Star. But I thank you first and foremost for just being a member of the Bean Team. And then look who we got right here. Canary. I haven't seen Canary in a long time, y'all. Canary says, finally made it. Oh my God. Canary, I was wondering about you. I was like, I ain't seen Canary in a long freaking time over here, man. I ain't seen Canary, but Canary here now, and we are still doing the Canary. We still doing what we doing. My notifications been so buggy, I only get the live stream after it finishes. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. But hey, even if you can't watch the live stream right now, Bean Team, if you watch it later, you know what I'm saying, it's still the same thing, man. Just freaking watch it and hit that like button. Then we got Love Girl 788. I think this is like her second or third live stream joining. Hey, shout out to you, Love Girl. Happy you are here. Love Girl says hi to you. Callie Nelson, 1993. Shout out to my girl, Callie. Callie has been here for a long time, too. Callie says, hey, Beans and Bean Team, happy Saturday. I don't know what's going on, but YouTube is allowing me to renew. I think you saying not allowing me to, isn't allowing me to renew my membership. Well, you know what, Canary? I mean, not Canary. You know what, Callie? Because I've been trying to help you out because I've been seeing you leaving those comments like that, and I've been leaving freaking links to the membership. But I'm gonna try to leave it in this actual live stream right here, and maybe you'll get it. So y'all just bear with me, y'all. I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. Do that, and do that. All right, post that. Boom, there you go. Kyler, there you go. That should, if you click on that, I hope you be able to become a member of the Bean Team All-Stars once again. Then Futuristic 80s, let's go. Get whatever you may need. And look, we got another member of the Bean Team All-Stars in the house. Rock and React says, welcome everyone. Finally made it in a long while. Yes, it's been a while since Rock and React showed up too. Hey, everybody coming out for this live stream, man. Everybody is showing up. Shout out to everybody who is showing up. We got Misha. Misha says, what's up, Bean Team? Misha, what's up with you? Happy you are freaking here. And I digress, Bean Team. We gonna get into today's videos because fair warning, I gotta go and let y'all know this is not a short stream. This is a long stream. We gonna be here, I know, at least 2 hours. probably more than likely close to 3 hours because we got a lot of different channels to go to. We got to go back to Chillin' Scares. We got to go check out Chillin' Scares dropped 2 videos that I haven't seen before yet. Dial Trip dropped another 10 strange and bizarre cases compilation that he do every month that we got to check out. The Lazy Man Masquerade dropped a video like 2, 3, 4 days ago that we got to get into. And then y'all already know I like to end our live streams with a video from EWU Bodycams. So hey, Bean Team, we got a lot to get into. And one more time for the one time, man, I want to say thank you to everybody who came through and showed love to my very first ever true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious. What the is going on type of video. It got like 240 plus likes right now. You know what I'm saying, man? A lot of comments and all that. And I will say this. I am currently working on the second video of that series, and all I'm gonna say is this second video I'm working on, the story is gonna be even crazier and even more like what is going on. But I will also say that I'm only like 10% done with it. Like I got a lot more work to put into it, Bean Team. But hopefully by the end of this month, I will be done with it. But I digress. I'm ready to go get into today's live stream, Bean Team. And we gonna start off by going to Chilling Scares. We are going to Chilling Scares first, Bean Team. And like I said, Chilling Scares put out 2 new videos that we got to get into. And the title of the first one is People Who Recorded Their Last Moments. Videos like this always be crazy, man, because when people be recording their last moments, 9 times out of 10 they don't know it's their last moment. You know what I'm saying, man? It's just like, dude, just freaking 5 minutes ago these people didn't know they was about to die, and 5 minutes later look what happened, and they recorded all of it. But I'm ready to get into the video, Bean Team. But before we get into it, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We are back to Chilling Scares. And somebody let me know if you can't hear the video. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Ivan Lester McGuire was a 35-year-old skydiving expert who lived in the small town of Franklinton, North Carolina. He worked as a skydiving cameraman at the now-defunct Franklin County Sports Parachute Center, where his job was to capture photos and videos of clients who wanted their skydive jumps recorded. He'd been doing this every day for years, and April 2nd, 1988 was no different. Unfortunately, what began as just another routine workday would end in a sudden, irreversible tragedy. The day began smoothly, with Ivan successfully completing 2 dives by late afternoon. But it was an unusually busy Saturday, and before the sun could set, he was called in for a 3rd jump. He was already exhausted by this point, but didn't want fatigue to get in the way of his job, so he agreed to the dive. The plane took off from the runway located right next to the sports center, and within just 15 minutes, it was soaring 10,500 feet in the air. After reaching this desired altitude, Ivan jumped first, making sure to keep his helmet-mounted camera pointed towards the client and their accompanying skydiving instructor. What you're looking at right now is a part of the footage that he captured. A few seconds after the jump, the other instructor opened his parachute, which was Ivan's cue to open his own. But when he reached for his ripcord, it wasn't there. Panic set in as he frantically disregarded getting a good shot and searched his body for the ripcord, hoping it was just stuck somewhere. And that's when he made the horrifying discovery. He wasn't wearing a parachute at all. And since the other instructor had already opened his parachute, he couldn't help Ivan in any way either. After realizing his situation,
Ivan, how was you not wearing a parachute? Like, how does that even happen, Bean Team? Like, how did he freaking jump out of a plane and did not know that he was not wearing a parachute? This is starting off crazy already.
The only words that came out of Ivan's mouth were, "Oh my God, no." The footage then became blurry as Ivan sped up to 150 miles per hour, or over 240 kilometers per hour. He crash-landed in a wooded area near the runway and likely passed away the instant he hit the ground. When rescue workers found his body, his camera equipment and the VHS tape he was recording on were broken into multiple pieces. Fortunately, investigators were able to splice together enough working sections to get a good picture of what happened before he jumped. They were able to rule out both foul play and the possibility that Ivan had intentionally chosen not to wear a parachute. But if that's the case, how could a seasoned expert with over 800 successful skydives under his belt simply forget to put on his parachute? Unfortunately, none of the evidence the investigators were able to gather answered this question. But given his circumstances, a few popular theories have emerged that offer possible explanations for what might have gone wrong. The first of which is that this incident was the result of nothing more than ill-fated complacency. As I mentioned earlier, Ivan had already completed 2 jumps that day and was exhausted before getting on the plane for the 3rd time. Maybe he assumed he was completely geared up, when in reality he was missing the most crucial piece of equipment. However, if he wasn't wearing anything on his shoulders, someone around him would have almost certainly noticed before the jump. Which brings us to the second and more likely possibility. The incident happened because of his camera equipment. You see, unlike today where a tiny action cam is all it takes to film a skydive, back in the 1980s, recording that footage required bulky camera gear that had to be worn in a backpack. There's a chance Ivan and the others around him mistook this camera bag for the parachute and didn't realize the truth until it was too late. That said, while Ivan wasn't fortunate enough to survive, the footage of his accident stands as a sobering reminder for skydivers to always double, even triple check their gear.
Yeah, that's a weird one, man, that no one can ever explain. Like, how the freak this man did not know that he didn't have his parachute on. And he is a seasoned veteran, Bean Team. He been skydiving for freaking years. He is teaching other people how to skydive. You know what I'm saying, man? So maybe one of the theories is that he just was fatigued. And like, somebody said it, Canary, like sometimes you gotta let fatigue take over and not do more work. Sometimes when you get tired, you do make mistakes. I will say that. So maybe that's possible. Or maybe it's possible that, you know, that was back in the day and maybe the camera bag that he was holding and he tired and stuff made him think that that was the parachute bag also. I don't know. That was just a terrible mistake. I also want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Bryant. Shout out to Elizabeth Bryant. She says, "Oh wow, happy that you came to the live stream also." And look who else has showed up. Our girl Diana, always showing up to a live stream. Diana says, "That's horrible, and all he could do was wait for impact." From the time he jumped out of the freaking airplane to the time he reached and tried to pull for a freaking parachute, from the time he did that to the time he hit the ground, I can't even imagine it. You know what I'm saying, man? He realized he don't have a parachute, and now he just going all the way down to his death. Rest in peace to him, man. Misha says, "You've never been that tired at work before." Nisha, I would say that I think I have never been, and I hope I never be. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Why I forget the most crucial thing or part of my job, his freaking parachute. One more time, rest in peace. Shout out to the 18 people out here. And I don't even think I said it yet, man. But if you here, man, you better been hit the like button, y'all. Hit the freaking like button. Appreciate all y'all being here. We just getting started. I'm already hyped because going back to Chilling Scares. It's a Saturday, and I'm with the Bean Team. Let's go.
On the 15th of January 2023, Yeti Airlines Flight 691 took off from Kathmandu's Triphuvan International Airport at around 10:30 a.m. It was a domestic flight headed for the Pokhara International Airport, located roughly 124 miles or 200 kilometers west of the takeoff location. Things started off just as everyone hoped, with the plane taking off, climbing, cruising, and even descending without any issues. And as it was about to land at the Pokhara airport, one of the passengers started live streaming on Facebook from within the cabin. This passenger was a 25-year-old Indian man named Sanu Jaiswal. He was an adventurous young man who loved nothing more than exploring new places with his friends and experiencing their beauty firsthand. This time he had traveled to Nepal as a tourist with 3 of his close friends. And after enjoying Kathmandu to its fullest, the 4 of them were headed to Pokhara to experience paragliding. He was excited for the upcoming adventure and wanted to share this moment with his entire social circle, which is why he started streaming. What none of his viewers knew, however, was that this was going to be the last time they would see Sanu alive. Because just a minute after he started streaming, the situation took a terrifying turn as the camera became disoriented and the laughter turned to screaming. What followed was an extremely loud explosion. Somehow the phone stayed intact and continued streaming everything to Sanu's friends and family. But all they could see at this point was nothing short of horrific, with the entire camera feed getting covered in raging flames, and worst of all, the screaming suddenly coming to a halt. Something had gone horribly wrong, and it wasn't long before people found out exactly what. Flight 691 had somehow crashed into the riverbank a few hundred meters away from the airport. The crash also caused the remaining fuel to ignite. So by the time the rescue workers arrived on the scene, there was nothing left. The crash and the resulting fire had taken the lives of the 4 crew members and the 68 passengers. Sanu was among these casualties, as he unknowingly recorded his own final moments, with no idea of the tragedy that was about to unfold. The only silver lining in this accident was that the plane barely missed the populated area right next to the river, which would have likely doubled, if not tripled, the losses. As for how things went so horribly wrong when the rest of the flight had been relatively smooth, a months-long investigation concluded that it was mostly due to human error. You see, the flight was originally supposed to land on runway 30, but for some unknown reason the pilot requested to land on the indirect runway 12. Now, the co-pilot, Anju Kariwada, was under training at the time, so it's possible the pilot requested the alternative route to teach her how to land at an awkward angle. Unfortunately, while the plane was turning, she misinterpreted a command and accidentally switched both engine propellers to the feathered position. This resulted in the engine stalling, the plane losing control, turning over, and crashing into the riverbank. Put simply, a single unfortunate mistake cost the lives of dozens of people and uprooted the lives of hundreds of family members.
Man, that's just a mistake that you just can't make. Like, how, like, come on, man. Like, you just made a mistake that cost a lot of people their lives. And I remember this story from either Tragedy Tales, shout out to our boy Ryan from Tragedy Tales, or maybe Lazy Masquerade. I think it was Tragedy Tales, man. But just regarding the whole video of him recording it, it goes back to what I was saying, but it's not just him not knowing what's about to happen. He recording everybody on the plane. Nobody has no idea that they all about to die. Like, that is just so scary to think about, man. It just make me just don't ever want to get on a plane. Make me never want to leave my house type ish. I don't know, big team. I don't freaking know. And look who we got in the building, Rochelle Robinson. I'm here, Bean Team, just still at work. Another member of the Bean Team All-Stars. Shout out to you all, Rochelle. And it's crazy that Rochelle says she's still at work, because a lot of y'all will come through and say, hey, I'm still at work, but I'm just, just stopping through, or I'm at the grocery store, I'm out to eat at a restaurant, I'm going to the movies, whatever. But y'all still come and show love over here on our channel. So shout out to y'all for that. Misha says, unfortunate. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. I just hate she made that mistake, though. Rochelle said, what we watching now? Well, currently, Rochelle, we are on Chilling Scares, because there's 2 new videos from him that I have never seen before. And the first one is just, like Misha said, it's just been some unfortunate events that has happened. Canary says, probably be better for someone in training to get more experience before taking on a full plane. I agree with that too, man. But man, oh man, just the amount of lives that can be lost by one person mistake, it's scary. It's scary. I digress. Let's keep going.
On June 16, 2013, 29-year-old Yevgeny Titov noticed the demolition happening near his work in Lipetsk, Russia. He was on his lunch break and had plenty of time to admire the work being done. So he took out his phone and started recording the demolition. Unfortunately, watching this demolition was about to become the worst decision of his life. Now, I should mention that Yevgeny was being as cautious as he could. He was standing at least twice as far from the building being destroyed as the 2 men in front of him. Yevgeny was also standing off to the side, since given the demolition method, the debris looked like it was going to fall towards the excavator. Tragically, that is not what happened. As the excavator pulled the wall beyond its tipping point, it didn't detach cleanly and rotated mid-air, sending massive bricks and other debris hurling toward Yevgeny. And while the men standing nearby were nearly missed, Yevgeny wasn't so lucky. He was thrown to the ground by flying debris, with the impact leaving him critically wounded while others rushed over to help. Paramedics were called and rushed him to the hospital. Sadly, it was too late. Yevgeny had suffered multiple complex fractures, damaged organs, and serious brain trauma. He passed away.
God damn, Bean Team. I did not see that one there coming because the way the crane was pulling the wall off the wall or whatever, it looked like the debris, the rocks, the stones, the wall was going to fall this way. In some kind of way, it went that way, straight towards him. That's crazy.
Shortly after reaching the hospital, leaving his wife and 3-year-old daughter behind. All because he wanted to watch a building being demolished from what he believed was a safe distance. The company in charge of the demolition was charged with criminal negligence for failing to establish an effective perimeter around the worksite, with the video Yevgeny captured serving as a crucial piece of evidence. However, no legal penalty could rewind time or erase the damage that had already been done.
Hey, and Rochelle and Kylie, y'all made great points saying why was he so close? I agree with that 100%. But at the same time, man, I did not expect the freaking rocks or whatever to go his way because he was standing to the side. He was still standing too close, but it's just the way that they went. You would think they would come towards the thing that was pulling it, but no, it went to the right. That just shows you when danger's in sight, you better get away. Long story short, short story long, man. Canary says, at that point, we just gotta mind our own business. Oh my God. I agree with that too. Mind your own freaking business. But hey, let's go to the next one.
23-year-old Helen Wendy Niabuto moved from Kenya to Canada on a 10-year study visa when she was just 20 years old.
I already know this one. I know this one come from Tragedy Tales because I remember this lady, beautiful face. This is a tragic one.
By 2022, she was close to completing her education while also working as a nurse and a personal support worker in the Toronto area. Things were going well for Helen, but things took a tragic turn in August of 2022 when a single accident wiped out everything she had worked so hard to build. She was hired as a personal support worker by someone living in the small town of Chatsworth, Ontario. She decided to rent a room in the only motel in Chatsworth to accommodate this job and started living there. The place wasn't too shabby, but the thing that caught Helen's eye was the motel's outdoor swimming pool. So on August 8th, she found enough free time to go for a swim while also live streaming her experience on Facebook. She had the pool all to herself, and it was every bit as peaceful and relaxing as she'd hoped. However, just as she was starting to enjoy swimming, disaster struck. About 10 minutes after getting into the pool, she decided to swim toward the deep end. Unfortunately, just seconds after entering the deep end, she lost control and began drowning. She desperately called for help with the little air she had left. Tragically, there was no one to hear her. After struggling in the water for nearly a minute, Helen lost the fight and passed away just outside the range of her phone's camera, which continued streaming everything live on Facebook. Her last words stating, "Let me enjoy some water," took on a much darker meaning as her live viewers waited for someone to notice Helen. However, she remained unnoticed for nearly 3 hours until 2 other guests finally arrived at the pool and made the heartbreaking discovery while the live stream was still going. But these guests couldn't even believe what they were looking at first.
And this is a more eerie part. It's eerie the way she died. Rest in peace to her. But can you imagine being some people that just going to go get in a pool at a hotel, going to swim, and you see a freaking body drowned up in there? That right there give me chills. This is chilling scares, right? Like, seriously, man, can you imagine that? I would have the same type of reaction these dudes would have, maybe. Let's listen to the reaction.
Dead person in the line. I know that scared the when I got it. I think it's a poodle or something.
That looks so realistic.
I know. I got in and I was like, is it somebody? Walk over there. Just walk over there.
Like, what if it's actually somebody dead? Because I'm not even trolling. That looks way too real.
They eventually realized the truth and immediately contacted the motel management. By the time someone checked on Helen, she was long gone. The live stream helped prove that this was nothing more than a terrible accident, though that did little to soften the blow for her family. As her father stated, "I watched the video, I cried, it's terrible. What made the tragedy even more devastating was that Helen was the sole breadwinner for her family. Without her, they couldn't even afford to bring her body home to Kenya. Fortunately, when the
Damn.
story made headlines, the internet came together and raised over 66,000 Canadian dollars to cover her funeral expenses and help her family in their time of need, giving a somewhat bright ending amongst an absolutely tragic situation.
Wow. Now Tragedy Tales didn't give us that detail, Bean Team, that her family was too broke to even bring her body over and have a proper funeral. But due to GoFundMe, I think that was, or something similar to that, generous people was able to raise the money. I got to clap for that, man, so she can have a proper burial, man. Rest in peace to her. A tearful freaking goodbye. Hey, that's chilling, to be honest. Yes, got Libby, that is chilling. It's insane because the other guests saw her before the actual staff. I agree with that too, Canary, given the fact that she was in the freaking pool, drowned, had been dead for 3 hours before other people came and found her. And the way they was like, is that fake? Is that a doll? I would kind of be thinking that too. Like, I would be kind of like, subconsciously consciously convincing myself, like, dude, this can't be a real body floating in this water. Like, I know I'm tripping. I'm in the Twilight freaking zone right now. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Elizabeth says, what a sad way to go. Rest in paradise, queen. Rest in paradise to her. Extremely chilling. I agree, Rochelle. Why weren't there any workers nearby to watch the pool? Now, with that one, I don't know, Lobby, but 3 hours is crazy. I would say that 3 hours to not go look and see what's going on in the pool, that's a little crazy to me, man. I will say that. Misha says, I think that would be a hard thing for your brain to accept immediately. Yes, Misha, you get what I'm saying. And I know all y'all get what I'm saying. Like, it would be hard to register that. I'm just at a hotel, probably on vacation or visiting family members. And I decide, hey, we got a nice hotel. We got a pool. I'm going to go out here and get in the pool with my family or friends. And then we get out there and we see something floating in the water that look like a human being. That would be hard for me to believe in that moment, man. Rest in peace to freaking her. I digress, Bean Team. We almost done with the first Chilling Scares video. Let's keep going.
Armin Schmieder was a 28-year-old Italian man with a love for extreme sports. He originally started with skydiving and performed countless jumps across Europe. But as time went on, he started getting bored of skydiving and wanted to try something even more extreme. So, sometime in 2015, he switched from skydiving to wingsuit base jumping. Learning a brand new sport, especially one as dangerous as wingsuit base jumping, was quite risky. But Armin managed to pull through and became quite proficient at it in just 1 year. What he didn't know, however, was that his luck was about to run out. On the 26th of August 2016, Armin climbed to the summit of Mount Kangersteg in the Swiss Alps. On this day, he wanted to livestream his adventure, which started with him putting on the equipment and getting ready for the jump. But since he didn't have any streaming-capable action camera or a secure mount for his phone, he came up with an alternative solution, where once he was fully geared up, he told his viewers, "Today you fly with me," and put the phone in his pocket. All his viewers could see now was the darkness inside of his pocket, with some light bleeding through the fabric. But
I believe I remember this from Tragedy Tales too. I think I do.
Audio was still clear enough to understand what was going on, like Armin counting down and making the jump.
2, 1.
Things seemed to be going as expected. However, about 20 seconds after he made the jump, his phone captured the sounds of Armin screaming, crashing into the mountainside, and rapidly rolling down the steep terrain. The fall ended with Armin landing in the middle of a cow pasture, now being completely silent. His viewers quickly contacted the authorities, who spent the next few hours looking for him. Unfortunately, by the time they found him, it was already too late. Armin had succumbed to his injuries and passed away. And while the Swiss authorities never released the true cause of his death, whether it was equipment failure or pilot error, at the very least, he died doing what he loved.
At the very least, he died doing what he loved. I think that could be just the silver lining or the bright side of the situation that we can look at it at. And Canary says this cannot be fun to risk everything to do. And that's the thing about some of these people who do these skydivings and freaking rock climbing and freaking scuba diving, you name it. It be so freaking dangerous, but it's something that they love to do. So, hey, if you love it and if you comfortable, and this is crazy, this don't even make no sense what I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying. If you comfortable with doing this, knowing that it's a possibility that you can die, but you still want to do it, then hey, go right ahead. But I'll tell you one thing, Canary, I wouldn't freaking be doing that ish. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Colin Nelson says, this was what I was saying earlier about bungee jumping and cliff jumping. Should be banned. Now, Callie, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like saying it should be banned. I feel like you're taking it too far because, you know, we all humans and we should have the right to do these extreme things if we want to do them. So I wouldn't say they should be banned. All I'm saying is I know you and me, we would never do it. And I agree with that. Never do it. But if you want to do it, do it. It's your choice. It's your life. It's your freaking life. Sadly true. Lavi says, yeah, it's hard when you absolutely love something. That's true too. Same, I wouldn't be either. I hate heights. I wouldn't even say that I hate heights, but I'm not doing none of that crazy-ish like that. Never. But rest in peace to him, though. Rest in peace to him, though.
Tavi Pustio was a 29-year-old pop singer in Romania. He was described as one of Romania's rising music stars and was building a bigger following with each passing year. Unfortunately, before he had the chance to make it big, his career was abruptly cut short on August 15, 2020. He was riding through the city of Ploiesti in a car with his wife behind the wheel. And as they were making their way through the city, Tavi decided to live stream his travel from his phone. This stream was just him smoking, listening to music, smiling, and having plain fun. But then, a few minutes into the stream, his wife stopped the car at a crossing of sorts. She looked both ways before driving forward, only for the stream to suddenly cut off, with Tavi screaming in horror being the last thing viewers witnessed.
Yeah, I remember this one too from Tragedy Tales.
As it turned out, the two were crossing a railway line, and while his wife did look both ways, she somehow missed the train barreling towards them. By the time they noticed, it was already too late. Their car was wrecked completely, resulting in Tavi tragically losing his life. What's crazy is that just a month before this crash, Tavi made a Facebook post stating, "One day, the wrong train will take you to the right destination." His wife miraculously survived, but sustained several critical injuries. She was rushed to the hospital and put on life support, though I wasn't able to find any reports on what happened to her after that. The now tragic final memory Tavi left to his fans was him simply having fun and dancing to music.
I mean, literally having fun, smiling, smoking his cigarette, got the music playing, he with his wife, and now he gone. Long story short, short story long. Rest in peace to him. I remember that from that one from Tragedy Tales. Chillin' Scares had a lot of Tragedy Tales videos within his video right there, but he was giving extra details on it, especially with the girl in the swimming pool. I really didn't know that her family wasn't able to transport her body back over to her hometown or whatever, but glad and happy, and it's wholesome to know that people actually supported her getting there. But y'all, we got LSB Ice back as a member of the Bean Team All-Stars again. Shout out to LSB Ice, aka my nephew, aka Chef Curry. And he also says, yo, what's up, Unc and Bean family? Your boy made it late to the stream today. Hey, LSB, you ain't too late. Chef, you ain't too late. We just getting started. We got a whole nother video to go to from Chillin' Scares before we go to Die Trip. And then we got to go to the Lazy Man. Then we going to E-Rule. Like I said, Bean Team, this is going to be a long stream. And if you're not here for the whole stream, I'm just happy you here now. And if you have to leave, then just come back later. And please, 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 please watch the rest of it. And right now, as I speak, if you're listening, hit that like button. I digress, Bean Team. Let's get into the next Chillin' Scares video.
Elliot Eastman, Ivan Lester McGuire.
Hold up. Let's get into the next one.
Elliot Eastman was a 20.
And the title of it is YouTube channels abandoned for disturbing reasons. Now, that's one thing I have learned from Chillin' Scares, The Lazy Man, and Nick Crowley. There's a lot of freaking YouTube channels out here that had a lot of crazy ish going on. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about those channels is they don't never have a lot of subscribers. They have a couple of hundreds, maybe a couple of thousands, but they have some disturbing ish that's going on behind it. And I'm ready to find out what Chillin' Scares got in store for us now. Let's go.
Elliot Eastman was a 26-year-old man from Vermont, USA. He spent most of his early years in the tiny town of Heinsberg. Life there was calm and peaceful, but with a population of less than 600 residents, it was also quite boring. Elliot wanted to do something more with his life. So, with his love for nature and exploration in mind, he saved up some money and traveled to the Philippines near the end of 2023. He wanted to slowly make his way through the entire country and witness its beauty firsthand. But just a couple months into his trip, he met a local woman named Carisha Jayla. The two started dating and got married just a few months after that, in July of 2023. Then, in January 2024, Elliot started posting videos on YouTube documenting his life in the Philippines with his wife. His videos were simple, without any over-the-top music or crazy editing effects, but they felt authentic and real, allowing him to amass a small but dedicated fan base. Though his content took a massive shift in May 2024 when he decided to move to the beachside village his wife was from in the Cebuco municipality. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before this spiraled into the worst decision he'd ever make. You see, Cebuco is part of what's known as the Red Zone in the Philippines. Put simply, this is the most dangerous section of the country, especially for foreigners. Armed robberies, kidnappings, and even murders are not uncommon in this region, with over 40 Westerners going missing there in just the last decade. However, Elliot was well aware of this fact, as evident from his channel's description, which read, "I'm Elliot Eastman. I am 26 years old and I came to the Philippines about a year and a half ago, where I met the love of my life deep in the mountains of the Red Zone of the Philippines. I will be showing you my day-to-day life as the first and only foreigner to have ever lived here in Cebuco for a long period of time." He mentioned the danger in some of his video titles as well. But despite the threat to his life, he still wanted to build a life in Cebuco. So he rented an apartment and even built his own grocery shop near the beach, all while documenting the entirety of his journey on YouTube.
Now I think I remember this one from Mike from that chapter. If anybody remembers it, also let me know. But I think I remember this story, and it's so bizarre, and I still don't really have an answer to what actually happened to this guy. Let's go.
Oh, there were times when he felt threatened and had to hide from some locals to avoid getting in serious trouble. But despite the somewhat dire circumstances, Elliot was enjoying his time in Cebuco and slowly building the life he wanted. However, just when things were starting to look up for Elliot, tragedy struck. The incident took place on the night of October 17, 2024, when, after doing several short live streams throughout the day, Elliot went offline and sat for dinner with his wife and her parents. But then, a few minutes later, 4 men with guns barged into their home and started telling Elliot to go outside. These men were also wearing outfits similar to those of the Filipino police, likely in hopes of making Elliot more cooperative. Elliot, however, saw through their disguise and tried to run away. Unfortunately, that's when things went from bad to worse. One of them opened fire and ended up shooting Elliot twice, once in the leg and once in the abdomen. They then dragged him onto the speedboat they had docked near their home and sped off into the darkness. This was the last time anyone saw Elliot alive. By the time the police launched a search and rescue mission, the kidnapper's boat was nowhere to be found. The investigation then went on for nearly a month until the 12th of November. But when the police eventually located the kidnappers, they were forced into a shootout, resulting in 3 of the 4 culprits losing their lives. And while they did manage to arrest the last kidnapper, it was already too late. According to the kidnapper, Elliot succumbed to his injuries when he was on the speedboat. So the kidnappers simply threw his body overboard to hide the primary evidence of their crime. Unfortunately, the police were unable to locate his remains and pronounced him officially dead in December of 2024. However, one question still remained unanswered. Why? Why did these 4 criminals target Elliot? Well, the simplest explanation is also the most likely one. They just wanted to kidnap him for ransom. Carisha even had a first-hand experience with this, as back in high school, one of her Canadian classmates was kidnapped and held for a ransom of $50,000 US. That said, there's also a second potential explanation that has to do with Elliot's side business. You see, while operating his grocery store, Elliot also started lending the locals money for 20% interest. A local loan shark likely saw him as a competitor and sought to eliminate Elliot before he took away any more of his business. This would also explain why the intruders were so quick to open fire if they wanted to hold him for ransom. Regardless of their motive, the end result was the loss of a young man trying to make a life for himself with his wife in a foreign land. His YouTube channel now sits abandoned, with its many uploads remaining as proof as the life he once lived.
Man, rest in peace to him. And I'm pretty sure that I remember this story from Mike from that chapter, but it's still just so the why is just a glaring question in this case, man. And I don't remember if Mike covered that the fact that 3 of the dudes actually died, and then the one who survived basically told the police that, hey, we threw him overboard because he had succumbed to his injuries. I don't remember that part. But it's just so bizarre, and it just make you wish that maybe if he would have just got with his wife and came back to the United States, maybe he would still be alive. But some things, I will say this too, Bean Team, it's some things that Chillin' Scares didn't show us that Mike showed us as far as his live streams. It was some crazy stuff that he was saying in his live streams that kind of make you think, or that he knew that somebody was out to kill him or something. Like, he was seeming very paranoid and saying some crazy ish. So if you ever want to get more details, go watch the video from Mike from that chapter. I wish I could tell y'all the name of it, but it was very recent though, maybe like 2-3 months ago. I got a reaction to it, and I think in that reaction he is on the thumbnail, so you may be able to find it that way. But I digress, Bean Team. I gotta give another shout out to our girl Rochelle Robinson with the $2 super chat. Shout out to Rochelle. Thank you for that super chat. Rochelle at work, still here with the Bean Team on a good Saturday. Canary says, yeah, and he was also a YouTuber, so they might have thought he was rich through that as well. Maybe, because they was in a foreign country that is not as rich as the United States. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they thought he had more money than he had. I don't freaking know. And look who has just showed up in the building. Hey, everybody is showing up and showing out tonight, because now we got M Flow. My girl M Flow has showed up, says, hello, Bean Team. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Lately, y'all, our subscriptions, they've been looking good. They've been going up, y'all. They've been going up. So if you ain't subscribed to the Bean Team yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Shout out to M Flow, another member of the Bean Team All-Stars. Yes, support is most appreciated. Yes, Lively. Yes, I'm sure. Anyways, let's go. Let's go.
Benjamin Pardun, known online as Warner the Goobermeister, was a comedian creator on YouTube who primarily focused on creating a genre of memes known as YouTube poops, which is a subgenre of online humor that revolves around taking clips from other shows, usually cartoons, and editing them to have a bizarre, often nonsensical tone. Over time, Benjamin's channel had amassed over 8.7 million views, making him a well-known name in the YTP community. But after his upload on December 21st, 2021, he suddenly vanished from the internet, leaving his fans wondering what could have happened. Unfortunately, the reason for his disappearance was far more tragic than simply getting bored and moving on from the channel, as most of his audience had assumed. The incident took place on the 27th of January 2022, when his older brother Chris tried to contact him many times but didn't hear back. Left with no other option, Chris called the police at around 8 p.m. to check on his parents and little brother. When the officers arrived at his house, the lights were on, but no one was answering the door. After repeated knocks, the officers knew something was off, so they decided to break in. But nothing could have prepared them for the horrific scene they saw behind that door. Inside, they found the bodies of Benjamin and his parents, all with visible gunshot wounds. However, what looked like a robbery gone wrong turned out to be far more tragic. According to the investigation, both Benjamin and his mother Deborah were shot by his father that evening, who, after committing the crime, decided to end things for himself as well. The news of this incident was a massive shock for Benjamin's viewers, as he'd never mentioned any family troubles before. Chris later set up a GoFundMe page in November of 2022, which not only allowed Benjamin's fans to support the only living member of his family, it also gave some insight into what might have happened. According to Chris, Benjamin was born in 2005 and was soon diagnosed with autism. This made it difficult for him to interact with people in person. Because of this, he was homeschooled, and at just 8 years old, he started uploading on YouTube, hoping to make friends and find a sense of community. Sadly, Benjamin's condition was far from the only challenge their family had to face. Deborah was also suffering from nerve damage after an accident, and the father, Gregory, had also gotten in a car accident in the past and could barely walk. On top of that, the family was also struggling with severe financial issues, which could explain why Gregory felt the need to take such a drastic measure, seemingly out of nowhere. As Chris puts it, "My dad was a proud man. He was ashamed to ask or seek out help." Although Benjamin's content was somewhat niche, it left a big impact on those who came across it, with some even uploading new videos in his style to keep his memory alive.
The Goobermeister, man. Rest in peace to the Goobermeister. Canary, I did not know what you were saying when you said that, but now I know. Rest in peace to him. And Jesus Christ, that's one of the most terrible freaking reasons. And it's just a theory that Chilling Scares of why he killed. I'm talking about Goobermeister's father, why he killed him and his wife. That's a trash ass meat reason. Just because y'all broke, just because y'all having financial issues. Hell, I'm having financial issues. I'm pretty sure some of y'all listening right now, they ain't got all the money that you want or that you need, but that don't mean you go kill your damn family. Like, come on, man. That is freaking trash, man. I hate that dude. Livy says, damn, Diana, he was only 8. And Diana, yes, I don't know how you mean it, but I'm looking at it two ways, because I'm looking at it like he was only 8 when he died, which is terrible. But I'm also looking at it like this, Being Team. Just follow me real quick. This dude was only 8 years old, and he had autism, and he was uploading videos to YouTube. And if you looked at the video, if you looked at what we just watched, his videos was getting hundreds of views, some of them getting thousands. This dude was on his way to being one of the top freaking YouTubers ever. If you gave him 20 more years, by the time he was 28, he would have millions of subscribers. He was headed to the freaking top, man. A freaking tragedy tale for real. Canary, it's always sick to bring your family to the grave because you had an inferiority complex. I couldn't have said it better myself. You take out your family members because you got problems in your life. It is so terrible, man. Lively, yup, same. It was obvious how much he wanted to live with, how he tried to connect with people through the internet. I agree. Yes, but he also had a whole channel. I agree, Diana. He had something going on. Like, he was doing so much exactly at the age of 8. That boy was gonna be something. He was most definitely gonna be something. And it's like, dude, he had autism and he still was out here and he was still that creative. I feel like we all lost a great soul right then, Being Team. The Goobermeister, we all lost a great soul. Rest in peace to him. Let's go.
Harley Dilly was a YouTube channel run by a 14-year-old teenager from Ohio with the same name. He created the channel in 2013 to share his love of gaming, specifically the sports game Madden, with others. He also uploaded vlogs on YouTube, where he talked about anything that was on his mind that day. But for Harley himself, these were more than just videos. They were one of the many forms of escape he had from his troubled life. You see, Harley suffered from oppositional defiant disorder and was also diagnosed with high-functioning autism. This resulted in him getting into heated arguments with his parents quite often and subsequently ending up in a worse situation. In one instance, he even posted a video talking about how he was locked out of the house after an argument with his mother, titled, "I'm Scared."
Hey guys, what's up? It is Harley Dilly. Probably one of my worst days in my life. I was at school and I was science test. I finished it and my computer says 1% battery left. So I get to the next class and I put it on charger as quick as possible, but it didn't charge. None of the computers would take a charge. So I took it back and I had to fill out a complaint, and that's one of the most expensive parts of the computer. And my mom said she's not paying anything. We argued for about a good 5 minutes. Then she snapped. She said she was gonna call police, and she said she already did. And she locked me out of the house. So right now I'm outside. Yep, the house is locked. It is 3:30. I haven't ate anything, and I still haven't even got to get my work done. My mom's gone. She won't answer the phone.
There were also allegations of some of his family members being physically aggressive to him. But despite all this, Harley was still a cheerful kid who wanted nothing more than to play Madden and grow his YouTube channel. Unfortunately, this ambition was tragically cut short on December 20th, 2019, when Harley went to school and never came back. The day had started off rough. Harley was still upset after arguing with his parents the night before, as they had refused to replace his broken smartphone. He also didn't want to go to school that day. But his mother Heather woke up early that day and, after some more arguing, convinced him to go. He left his house just before 7 a.m., but he was somehow absent from school and didn't return home that evening either. Harley had disappeared without a trace. Surprisingly, his family didn't report him missing until 11:50 p.m. on December 21st, nearly 43 hours after he vanished. Their explanation for the delay was simple. According to them, Harley had spent the night at friends' houses without telling them before, usually after an argument. They assumed this time was the same. However, they couldn't have been more wrong. Something that became increasingly clear as the police investigation dragged on for days without uncovering a single clue about his whereabouts. The only thing they found was this low-resolution picture of Harley going to school that was taken from a neighbor's security camera. And that was it. Eventually, many other organizations, including the FBI, joined the search as well. They also distributed his missing posters nationwide and offered an $18,000 reward, hoping to receive any information that could lead them in the right direction. Unfortunately, although they received numerous tips, none led to any significant progress in the case. That is until the 13th of January, over 23 days after Harley went missing, when the investigators made the big discovery. They were recanvassing the area immediately surrounding Harley's home when one of the investigators decided to check out the vacant house directly across from the Dilly residence. This was a summer home and was fully locked at the time. There was also no indications of anyone breaking into the home. However, the investigators had looked everywhere else to no avail. This was one of their last options. So they acquired the key to this home and started looking around. They didn't find anything on the ground floor. But as soon as they climbed the stairs, one of them noticed a maroon puffer jacket lying on the ground, the same jacket that Harley was wearing on the morning of his disappearance. As they got closer, they also noticed his glasses lying on the floor as well. But there were no signs of Harley anywhere. Both the glasses and the jacket had also collected plenty of dirt, indicating that they must have been there for a long time. While they were looking around, one of the investigators noticed the chimney vent above where his glasses and jacket were discovered. This sort of vent is used to connect traditional wood-burning heaters. Curious to see what was in it, he reached into the hole, only for his hand to touch human hair on the other side. There was no doubt about it. That was Harley, stuck in the chimney. Officers quickly dismantled the wall and
Yes, Misha, my mic was muted, man. Thank you for letting me know my mic was muted. But I feel like y'all, I remember this story too. Hey, listen, I'm just having freaking deja vu. But like I was saying, because I remember like somebody putting their hand into the wall. I remember that image of the wall. Maybe I'm tripping, like I said, and just having deja vu. Hey, shout out to Diana for saying no sound for you being and Love Girl too. Sometimes I have to mute my mic, y'all. So if I be talking and it seems like my mic muted, thank y'all for letting me know. But I think I remember this story too. But I think the reason that this all happened just because he was not having a good relationship with his mom, with his parents. You know what I'm saying, man? And it just end up coming to this. Hold on, little girl said, I think it was Mr. Ballin. It may have been the man, the myth, the legend. It may have been. That's a good one, love girl. It may have been. Shout out for bringing that up. Let's go.
Sure enough, they found Harley's body inside, with his arms raised above his head. A later autopsy concluded that he likely passed away the day he went missing. His particular position at the time of discovery also helped investigators piece together what might have happened that day. As the story goes, Harley didn't want to go to school that day, so he decided to spend the time at the vacant home until the afternoon to make it seem like he went to school. But when he couldn't find a way in from the ground floor, he climbed onto the roof using the antenna tower beside the house. From there, he looked into the chimney and saw a relatively short drop and chose to climb down it to enter the house. However, what he failed to realize was that this chimney didn't lead to a spacious fireplace. Instead, it only connected to a couple of small vents for heater exhausts, leaving him stuck at the bottom. Due to the way he climbed down, his jacket was likely halfway removed already. So he pushed it through the vent to free up some space, and his glasses fell through as well. Sadly, there was nothing else he could do in that position. His chest was pressed tightly against the chimney's wall, making it impossible to breathe, resulting in him slowly succumbing to asphyxiation. Put simply, this was nothing more than a tragic accident. Now, given this conclusion, Harley's case should have ended there. However, some people, especially his YouTube viewers, weren't satisfied with the official report. Many of them believed that this wasn't an accident at all. Rumors started going around the internet that Harley's death was actually a murder committed by his own family. One of the first big points of contention was his jacket, since in one of the evidence images it could be seen hanging from the door. These critics claimed that this was proof of the whole story being a lie. Some also argued that the shoes he was wearing in his last picture didn't match the ones the investigators found on him. However, despite the skepticism, the police stuck with their initial report. As for the jacket issue, that turned out to be nothing more than the result of one of the inexperienced investigators mistakenly moving key evidence. That said, whatever the truth may be, it doesn't change the fact that the YouTube community lost a genuine and passionate creator.
I agree. Another one gone too soon, man. Another young child. Like, these dudes are young. These are little kids, man. Gone in such weird situations. And I don't know if I don't know if I want to believe that his parents murdered him or not. It's a theory, and you can make an argument because of the past history and the past craziness that was going on. You can make that argument. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do think I remember that story. And like Love Girl said, I think it was Mr. Ballin. I think it may have been, because Mr. Ballin has told a lot of stories about chimneys and people getting stuck in freaking chimneys. I can remember a lot of them, and it makes me just always know now as an adult, after watching these stories from Mr. Ballin, never freaking get in a chimney thinking that you can get out, because more than likely you freaking can't. You freaking can't. Elizabeth says, I remember this story being, yeah, I think I remember it too, Elizabeth. And then I don't even know how to say this name, but they say, I'm not exactly sure, but I think Land Before Time animated film in early 1990s was taken in the same situation. She was 8 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. I have not done my research. I think you talking about the one before this one. I don't know, but I do remember The Land Before Time. That was one of my favorite movies when I was like in kindergarten or something that we used to watch at school. Oh, you know what? I'm realizing I lost track earlier and rewound. Y'all probably 2 stories ahead. My bad. Yeah, I don't remember what story exactly that you were talking about, but I do remember the Land Before Time because it actually, the very first one came out when I was like 6, 7 years old in kindergarten, first grade. And I was very hooked on that because when I was a child, I was hooked onto dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs and I love the Planet Bean team when I was little. And I still do to this day. But I digress. Shout out to you. I wish I could say your name properly, but I'll just call you SV. Shout out to SV. Shout out to the 25 people in here. Let's keep going.
Nicholas Sonderegger was a 28-year-old YouTuber who loved two things in life, longboarding and dancing. He uploaded nearly 80 videos of himself doing both of these on his channel named Sunspeak, though his ultimate dream was to become a professional dancer. By 2017, he was living in San Diego with his friend Austin to try and make his dream come true. However, the two were completely broke and couldn't afford California's high rent prices. So, with no other option, the two decided to live in tents or random trailers they could find in the Salton Sea area. Salton Sea used to be a popular tourist destination at one point due to its status as an oasis in the middle of the desert. But the water and the surrounding area became extremely toxic over time, turning it into a complete ghost town. On the flip side, this also made living there essentially free, which is what Nick and Austin were after. But what neither of them knew at the time was that the true danger of Salton Sea had nothing to do with its toxic climate. This danger came face to face with the two on the night of September 9th, 2018 at around 2 a.m. They were asleep in their tent when suddenly they were jolted awake by an extremely loud scream coming from the tree line not far from their camp. Fearing for their safety, they decided to just ignore it altogether and go back to sleep. Or that's at least what Austin thought. For some unknown reason, Nick later decided to go investigate the scream on his own after Austin had fallen back asleep. By the time Austin woke up the next morning, Nick was gone. He tried looking around for his longtime friend around town and discovered his flashlight lying on the ground just a block away from their tent. He immediately contacted the police and reported Nick as missing, who began looking for him almost immediately. But all they found was one of his boots, his pants, and his knife sleeve. His other boot, as well as his wallet and keys, were missing. More importantly, Nick himself was nowhere to be found. What made the situation even more bizarre was what happened days later. Austin returned to the same area he had already searched, but this time he found Nick's shirt and hat lying there, items that weren't there before. In other words, someone had likely placed them in that spot later. Sadly, the identity of this person was never uncovered, leaving Nick's case a complete mystery to this day. Nick's family has set up a website with all the information they have. They've also announced a $10,000 reward for any useful information. But despite these efforts, the case has remained cold. In fact, there are so few clues that I wasn't even able to find any solid theories either. Some have speculated that Austin might have killed Nick and hidden his body. However,
I was gonna say that same thing, man. I'm thinking I'm going to the Mr. Ballin theories with this one because there's no evidence other than maybe, just maybe, his friend, the one who killed him. I don't know. Let's go.
Police investigation uncovered no evidence of foul play. There's still a chance that some unexpected discovery would crack this case wide open. But until then, Nick's disappearance remains an unsolved mystery, and his YouTube channel remains abandoned.
Yeah, that one, y'all. Is no explanations or nothing. Let me make sure I hit that like button on that one. But there's really no explanation of what really happened to him, and it just almost kind of like forces me to just look at his friend like, did you have something to do with it? Like seriously, big team. I don't freaking know, man. But shout out to Chillin' Scares. Those were two great videos that we had to catch up with. Two recent videos that he put out. Shout out to him. That was great. Kyle Nelson says it's still not letting me click the link, Beans. It keeps taking me to your YouTube channel. I don't know what's going on with that, Kylie. I really don't even know any other methods or anything to do, man. All I can say is after this video, I'm gonna post the link in this actual video in the comment section, and maybe you will be able to join from that link. So look out for that. Our girl Rochelle Robinson says, yeah, it is. Good night, Bean Team. About to head home and watch the rest tomorrow. Hope everyone is having a great time. Sorry, I gotta cut short, but I gotta drive. Yeah, Rochelle, shout out to you, y'all. If y'all don't know, Rochelle been watching from freaking work, but now I guess she is off work and she got to make that drive home. Drive safe, Rochelle. Don't be sitting up here watching the freaking stream while you drive, and make sure you get home freaking safe, Rochelle. Make sure you get home safe. And shout out to you. Thank you all as always, and thank you for being a member of the Bean Team All Stars. Harley Dillon, I was referring to. I don't know what you're talking about right there, Rochelle, but I digress, Bean Team. We are done with Chilling Scares, but we are not done with this live stream. I repeat, like I have said before, this is not a short stream. This is a long stream. And we got 3 more channels to go to. The next channel we are going to is Dial Trip. But before we go to them, I will be right back. And we are back, Bean Team. We are back, and now it's time to go to Kyle from Dial Trip. Freaking Dial Trip, man. I love me some Kyle, man. Love me some freaking Kyle. And the title of this video is He Killed His Stepson Over a Fortnite Argument. 10 Strange and Dark Cases. Y'all already know I love the series from Kyle with the 10 Strange and Dark Cases. Another thing is, how many freaking stories have we heard about freaking people killing people over video games? Just long story short, story long. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, dude, like, it's either they killing them over video games, or it's freaking little children getting mad because their parents telling them they can't play video games because they got to do good in school. So the kids end up killing their parents. Like, it's always something crazy when it got to do with freaking video games, man. I can remember one story, and I think this came from the Coffee Man. Shout out to Coffee House Crime. Of a story of a child. I don't even remember if he was a child or not, but I remember he killed his family over the game Halo. If y'all remember Halo, shout out to Halo. I used to play the hell out of it. But he killed his freaking family over that ish. And then he went to prison. And guess what? He was in prison still playing freaking Halo. It's crazy, Bean Team. It's crazy. Let's go. We at Dial Trip.
Alright everyone, it's that time again. Time for another Strange and Dark Cases compilation. This is where I take all the shorter cases I come across while researching, or from submissions that are too short for their own video but are definitely worth talking about, and combine them all into one big video. With that out of the way, let's get started.
Get whatever you may need.
Alright, so here we've got man kills his stepson over a Fortnite argument. In Davenport, Florida, Kelly Garcia, a 43-year-old man, was living with his wife, Adrienne Days, 48 years old. The two of them had gotten married after Adrienne had already had 3 kids. One of them, Azariel, was already 26 years old. The other 2 were a bit younger, being 11 and 9 years old. Azariel, the oldest son, didn't really approve of his mother's relationship with his new stepfather, to say the least. It was said that Kelly basically ruled over the household, disciplining his younger siblings pretty harshly. This all culminated one night when the 9-year-old son was playing Fortnite on his phone. This was in spite of his mother telling him that he wasn't allowed to play that night. Azariel, the older brother, let the boy into his room and allowed him to play the game anyway, not really caring about the parents' ban. After his parents found out that he was still playing the game, they took the phone away, leading to the kid being very angry. The 9-year-old ran into his stepfather's room and got his 9mm handgun out of his nightstand, the location of which was known to even the youngest child. The gun was already loaded and wasn't secured in any way. The stepfather, Kelly, wrestled the gun away from him and got the gun out of his hands. Azriel then entered into the room, seeing his younger brother in a frenzy. While it might seem that the parents were only trying to be normal, functioning parents who gave their kids rules to follow by this point, Kelly's next actions would prove that he was anything but well-intentioned. He started to argue with Azriel, blaming him for the entire ordeal for letting the kid play Fortnite in his room in the first place. He raised up the handgun he had taken from the boy and aimed it at Azriel. He shot him several times in the chest and stomach. When he then tried to run from the room, Kelly once again shot him twice in the back. Azriel managed to make his way back into his room and shut the door.
Callie said, thank you, Callie, for letting me know. I'm freaking muted again. But all I was saying, man, like, dude, there is no freaking reason, Diana said. Y'all crazy, man. We are missing a good rant. LOL, I thought I was tripping. Yeah, man, I freaking muted again. But all I was saying, man, like, bro, like, what, like, how did you, like, didn't think that this was freaking crazy to do because of your freaking your stepson, your older stepson let your younger stepson into his room to play freaking video games. So you think the correct thing to do was to shoot him? And this was not just like in the heat of the moment, because you shot him multiple times. He was literally trying to run away and you still was shooting. It goes back to the video that I put out, my true crime horror video, when I was like, and even with an answer, there is no excuse for this nonsensical insanity. This was nonsensical. I end my rant, Diana. Let's go.
He collapsed to the floor. It seems that either he or someone else in the family called the police, as he was taken to the hospital shortly after. When the police came out to the home, the scene was immediately apparent to have been violent. Neighbors said that they could even see blood seeping out from the front door of the home. In the end, Azriel still died from his injuries quickly after being admitted. Kelly Garcia was then arrested and carted off to jail. The police then interviewed the family for the next 4 hours, trying to figure out what exactly had led to the shooting. It gradually led them to find out that an argument over letting the youngest son play Fortnite had led to the murder. Kelly has since been charged with both second-degree murder and unlawful storage of a firearm accessible to a minor. The police have said that they believe the whole incident wouldn't have happened if the youngest son didn't have access to the gun.
I mean, I agree with that the son shouldn't have access to the gun. But even if there is nothing that excuses what the stepfather did. That was not the right way to handle that situation. You get the gun, you grab the gun and put the gun in a safe place and whoop the little boy ass if you want to. And scold the older one. You know what I'm saying? Because he too old to get spankings. But you scold him and tell him, don't be letting your little brother come up in the room and playing games. No, he can't play video games right now for whatever. But actually shooting him is not the freaking solution to the freaking problem. Oh my God, dial trip, boy, with these freaking strange and dark cases. I love it. Let's go.
And this one is, Mom Shoots Son Over Loud Video Games. A 38-year-old man in Arizona had let his 72-year-old mother move in with him, and she didn't really like the fact that he played video games. To be more specific, she didn't like the noise coming from the TV when he played video games. One night, the mom, Hazel Benson, decided to call the police out to the home to tattle on her son for playing games too loudly. The Mesa police came out to the home, but they expressed that they had very little interest in this very minor family beef. They asked the two of them to settle the matter themselves, given that no crime had even taken place in the slightest, especially when it was seen that the son had legal standing, being that it was his home. They then left the home to go deal with some actual problems. The son was so angry that his mom had just called the cops on him for his TV being too loud that he decided to go on a walk to calm down. When he came back to the house a short while later, he found that his mom had locked and barricaded all the doors. He went around to the back door of the home and tried to get in that way. When he couldn't, he started pounding on the door, telling his mom to let him in. When she got annoyed by the sound of him knocking on the door, she pulled out a gun and shot him. It was now 8:50 p.m.
Oh, hell no. This shit, he'll starting to look. I'm using the sugar honey iced tea word, being team. We over an hour and 20 minutes into the live stream. I'm starting to let the cuss words fly now because this is fucking crazy. Long story short, story long. What you shooting your damn son? And the root of why you shooting him, the whole reason that we go back to why you shooting him is because of video games. Now he trying to get back into the house and you got shooting him through the door. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Canary says, my God, just get earplugs. It's always these older people that think video games cause mass shooting, killing people for the most little things. I agree with that too, Canary. A lot of people think that video games cause mass shootings. I mean, maybe sometimes they do, but majority of the time they don't. Like, it's a lot of people who play freaking video games and never became evil. So I don't even like that narrative. Callie said, get off, Beans. Diana says, can't have the TV on in my own house. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't like it, leave, Mom. Like it. God, like, mama, you ain't gotta shoot me over it. That's my thing. Like, what? Jesus. I'm glad that wasn't my mama. Thank God that's not my mama.
And the police were making it back out to the home very shortly after they had been called out the first time. They found the son, luckily, with non-life-threatening injuries. Still, he had been shot in the stomach and needed to be taken to the hospital. The mother, Hazel, was arrested and hit with charges of assault, disorderly conduct, and discharge of a firearm within city limits. Hazel told the police that she had shot her son after he lunged towards her with balled fists at his side, which didn't really go over too well as the police could see that he was outside when he was shot from the inside. She had told the police that she wasn't even sure if she had hit her son, but it was further found that she had immediately ran to a local canal and thrown the gun into the river. Her son is expected to make a full recovery after being hospitalized. With his mother now in jail, he'll at least be allowed to play video games at whatever volume he wants.
And I feel like he should never be back with his mama again. Like, hey, just me personally, I feel like she should have been charged with attempted freaking murder. That's just my opinion. Let's go. Starting out crazy with Dial Trip. Shout out to Kyle from Dial Trip.
And here we go. Florida man shoots a guy in a rage over mayonnaise. Let's just keep it going with these stories about people shooting each other for really dumb reasons. This case took place in Kissimmee, Florida at a small fast food place called Checkers. A light conflict started when a man pulled up to the drive-thru, made his order, and then noticed that he was missing some mayonnaise. He complained at the window about his missing condiments. He gave the typical, "I want to speak to your manager" several times during the argument. After this, things escalated pretty quickly. The man in the car, Wesley Robertson, got out of his car and continued to argue with the woman at the window. This was when another employee, Elijah Mackey, made his way out to the front door of the store and walked over to the window to confront Wesley. He started to argue with him even more loudly and wildly. When Elijah began to threaten Wesley, Wesley called him a pussy. Elijah responded with, "Oh, I am a pussy," before pulling out a gun and shooting him in the chest. Wesley then collapsed and smashed his head into the restaurant wall. Elijah tried to run away, but quickly returned to the restaurant to grab his bag before running out again. On foot, he made his way through several carnival attractions and over to a local Celebration Suites hotel. He hid under the stairwell, but the police found him pretty quickly. When the police began to cuff him, Elijah said, "I have a gun on me." The police then took it away and continued to arrest him as he asked, "Is the dude okay?" several times in a row. Dude was not okay.
And you see why he asked him, "Was the dude okay?" Because all this happened in the heat of the freaking moment. This all happened in the heat of the moment. And I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it, being team. He need to be locked up for the rest of his life for freaking killing this man, shooting this man. You know what I'm saying? But it's all over some fucking mayonnaise at a fucking restaurant because somebody forgot to get your order correct or whatever. And Canary, you are crazy as hell, man. You are crazy, Canary. Canary says this mayonnaise shit gets serious. It does, but being for real, man, it's just how many stories, how many videos we have seen on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram of people going into McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Waffle House, Crystals, you name it, White Castle, depending on where you live at, of people just being insane over some freaking food and going crazy and fighting and throwing all and effing up the whole restaurant and throwing it just. It's so crazy. Popeyes. I just thought about that one. A video I seen that Popeyes where a dude crashed out. Like, it can happen so freaking fast over fucking nothing. Over some fucking mayonnaise, bro. And that's why he was asking, is dude all right? Because now he done came to his senses of what the fuck he just did. Like, man, y'all just be careful. Bean Team, please just be careful, man. Elizabeth said these stores are off the chain crazy. SMA, shake my head. Imagine losing your life over mayonnaise. Sometimes there's no point arguing with irrational people. Just hand him the mayo and go. She says also at Cali, imagine being his family having to tell someone this is how he died. Imagine that. I'm almost at a loss for words, man, because like I said, y'all, we have heard so many stories, and if y'all be on social media, I'm pretty sure y'all seen so many videos of people crashing out at these fast food restaurants. Not even just killing people, but just acting a fool and fighting and doing all that crazy ish. And it's like, dude, at the end of the day, the reason that all y'all doing this ish is over some damn food. Can we put our thinking caps on? Damn. Let's go.
Hey, as Wesley had been pronounced dead shortly after arriving at the hospital, Elijah Mackey was charged with first-degree premeditated murder. He appeared in court once and was denied bond. It seems he couldn't find an attorney as he was appointed one by the court. Right now, he remains in Osceola County Jail.
And yes, Callie, yes, I remember the freaking Popeyes chicken. I remember that. Canary says, I get the wrong order and just take it. I don't know how you get so angry over stuff like that. I just don't know, especially over a condiment. He mad because, can you imagine that you that mad because the freaking people ain't put freaking cheese on your goddamn double cheeseburger, so now you want to go kill them? Like, dude, man, you. And now I'm going even deeper, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it from more than just a surface level. Maybe that guy already had a lot of things going on in his life, and that was the last thing. That freaking not having that mayonnaise on his freaking sandwich or whatever was the last thing that just made him snap in that moment. He already was going through a lot of troubles in his life. It don't excuse nothing, but I guess it kind of help it make sense. Whatever. None of this shit makes sense. Let's go.
And here's a wild one. Boy dies after being hit with a piece of cheese. While this one definitely isn't a shooting, I guess you could make the argument that it involves some kind of projectile weapon. This story took place in Greenford, West London. There, Karanbir Singh Chima, called Karan for short, was a 13-year-old boy that was allergic to basically everything. He was allergic to eggs, nuts, wheat, gluten, pollen, and all dairy products. On top of that, he also suffered from atopic eczema. One day in school, a 15-year-old boy decided to sit next to Karan. Karan told the older boy that he was allergic to the sandwich he was eating and asked him to move. So this boy decided to get back at him for making him move by throwing a piece of cheese at him from about a foot away. At their school, this kind of mild prank was very common, as it is for a lot of 8th graders out there. The cheese hit Karan in the neck, leading to him having a severe reaction. The boy who threw it said that, while he knew Karan was allergic to dairy, he didn't know that cheese was dairy. He later said, "At the time I didn't know dairy was cheese. Milk and yogurt, I would say that was dairy. I knew he was allergic to some things, like dairy and pollen. I knew he probably had more allergies, but I was only informed of the other ones." Karan went into
I don't know about that. Now, I know this child young, but I kind of call cap on that. Because when I was a child, I knew that dairy also consists of cheese. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was milk, I knew it was yogurt, but I also knew it was cheese. I think he freaking lied on that point.
Anaphylactic shock and was taken into the school nurse's office. There, he was given some medication and treated with his inhaler and his EpiPen. There was a problem, though. While he had this EpiPen waiting for him at school, he hadn't needed it in quite some time and it had gotten very old, leading to it being much less effective than it should have been. Soon after, Karan went into full-on cardiac arrest. Shortly after the paramedics arrived at school, he was still gasping for air. Unfortunately, this ended very quickly after they arrived, as he soon lost the ability to breathe at all. He was taken to the Great Ormond Street Hospital and put into intensive care, but sadly he died only 10 days later when efforts to save him failed. He was diagnosed with post-cardiac arrest syndrome, leading to his parents making the difficult decision to pull the plug. In a court hearing, the boy who threw the piece of cheese profusely apologized to Karan's parents, saying, "I didn't mean any harm. I'm sorry for what I did." When asked by the coroner if he knew what kind of reaction someone could get from an allergy, he responded, "I thought maybe he would get a fever or a rash and miss school for a while. I didn't know it could lead to death." Karan's mom said that her son was very diligent about his medical conditions and was in good health when she saw him that morning. A consultant at the hospital told her that it was extremely unlikely for mere skin contact with the food to cause a person to go into anaphylactic shock. Karan's mom said, "In her 30 years in medicine, she was confident that a child wouldn't have an anaphylactic reaction with something going down his neck." Much of the same was reiterated by a pediatric allergy consultant named Dr. Adam Fox. He said, "Where this case is extraordinarily unusual is the nature of the event that led to the anaphylaxis. Because severe allergic reactions through skin contact are very, very uncommon indeed, and if it was skin contact alone that caused, in this case, fatal anaphylaxis, I believe that to be unprecedented. I have been unable to find any case reports. I've canvassed wildly around this and I'm not aware of any fatal cases."
Now, with me saying that I don't believe that the child didn't know that cheese was also a dairy product. I do believe that he didn't think throwing the cheese was actually gonna kill the boy. He probably thought that it was gonna make him have an allergic reaction, and we can all laugh at it. Look at him, look at his skin. He look weird. Ha 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 ha. It was a bullying thing. I don't think he was trying to kill the little boy. I will agree with that, but that would end up happening sometimes, man, when you're freaking playing too much. I could tell y'all a story about somebody who played too much, but all I'm gonna say is rest in peace to him. I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. But sometimes you can play too much, and especially when you're a little child, you don't even really know the dangers of what's going on. And that was a rare situation anyway, from him to die like that from being in contact with the cheese. But it can freaking happen, like Kylie Nelson said. Oh wow, all this over a piece of cheese. Hey, Kyle come with these freaking strange and dark cases. Let's keep going.
And here we've got man throws grenade at ex-girlfriend's house. Continuing the trend of throwing things, here we have another really weird case from out in Thailand. In Thailand's Surat Thani province at around 8 a.m., a guy pulled up to his ex-girlfriend's house after they had been arguing online. The woman's mother reported that he had been dating the woman for only 2 months before they had broken up. It came to be clear that the man, Surapong Thongnak, had previously been in prison for 5 months due to meth-related offenses. He had been living in some temporary accommodation near his ex's house. Surapong wanted to get back with her, but she just wasn't having it. So he decided to go to her house and try to convince her in person. When she still wasn't too keen on the idea, feeling that he was a criminal, he decided to prove her right by pulling out a pair of scissors and trying to stab her. Some nearby neighbors managed to pull him off and subdue him before he managed to hurt her. Surapong wasn't done there, though. He returned to his car and pulled out an object that would serve as his backup plan, an actual real hand grenade. More specifically, it was an M26 fragmentation grenade. He walked back up to his ex's front door and pulled the pin. He then threw it at her and the neighbors who had previously stopped him. Luckily for them, the grenade hit a concrete pillar and bounced right back at him. He quickly leaned down to pick it up and throw it back again, but it blew up in his hands, killing him and injuring 4 of the neighbors. His ex-girlfriend had actually avoided injury entirely by running back into the house. The police were called out to the scene, finding that the place had been littered with debris and shrapnel. They pretty quickly found their suspect lying face down in a pool of blood, already far gone. The injured neighbors, 2 men and 2 women, were taken to a nearby hospital to be treated for their injuries. When the police further investigated Surapong's car, they found that he hadn't changed his ways at all. In fact, he was carrying half a kilo of meth right there in his car.
Yeah, that's a very strange and bizarre one. And like Canary said, yo, something wrong with that boy. Something wrong with him for real, man. Like, dude, you just show up and throw a freaking grenade? Like, where do your mind have to be at to do something like that? I'm glad my mind is not there, and I pray to God my mind never gets there.
Here's a truly weird one. Venezuelan migrant father pretends to be 16-year-old at school. Recently, there has been a really weird trend of foreigners coming to the US to pretend to be high school students. Last time it was a guy from South Korea, but this time it's a Venezuelan man. This story started in 2023 when a man, going by Anthony, claimed that he had been trafficked from Venezuela into the US. Given that he didn't have any documents on his person and was claiming to be a victim of trafficking, the police didn't really have anything to go on beyond his word. He said that he had been born in 2007, meaning that he would have been around 16 years old at the time. He began to attend a local high school in Toledo, Ohio, listing his name as Anthony Labrador. While at school, he applied for and got his hands on all sorts of documentation to make his stay legal. He got a visa with the help of an organization called Advocating Opportunities that provides free legal assistance. He also got a driver's license, a social security number, and protective status from the U.S. Immigration Department. It was reported that he did well at school, competed on a couple of different sports teams, and even dated a lot of girls. However, his high school life would come crashing down about 14 months later. He was living with a family who had legally become his guardians. This family, the Melfreds, were contacted by a woman named Evelyn Camacho, who told them that Anthony was actually a 24-year-old man and the father of her kid. She even sent them a picture of his previous driver's license, which showed that he was born in 2001. She even included some photos of him with his child. Anthony was contacted by school officials. The Melfreds were ordered to keep him off of school property as the investigation continued. When it was found that he was indeed this 24-year-old man, the police opened up a fraud case against him. He was actually Anthony Emmanuel Labrador Sierra, meaning that he didn't even pick a completely different name when creating this false identity. This also meant that some of the girls he dated at the school were nearly 10 years younger than him. When Anthony...
Yes, that's the thing that got me when Kyle said he was dating kids at the freaking high school, man. Like, oh, Canary said, bro tried to orphan his way through life. If y'all have watched the movie Orphan, then if you know, you freaking know. And I think Mike from that chapter had it has been some stories like this that we have heard before of freaking grown-ass adults acting like little children and actually going to high schools and doing all this. But I feel like this is where you begin to just really just violate and break the freaking law. You freaking 24 fucking years old dating little high schoolers, dude. Like, okay, it's one thing if you want to act like you a high schooler and be amongst the kids, which is still weird. But once you start dating them and freaking holding little kids' hands and going to dates and saying I love you and hugging them and even worse, maybe kissing them, we have just went to a whole nother level of whole hell to the all. Let's go.
First appeared in court from jail via video, he smirked to the cameras. The judge set his bond at $50,000 and told him that he wasn't allowed to leave the country. He's been stuck with an ankle monitor, living only about 2 miles away from the school that he attended. When asked where he was staying, he said that he would be with a woman named Emily that he also had children with. Being that Anthony isn't even a citizen, it has been said that his charges will most likely lead towards deportation. To make things even worse with the underage girls situation, the police have said that they also found questionable material on his computer where he was staying. Anthony has pled not guilty to all the charges against him. It looks like he only has a court-appointed lawyer. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, it looks like he very well may be facing federal charges as well.
Man, I feel like he need to face them federal charges for real. Canary says, I mean, why else did he do all this if not to be a creep? I mean, it was some creepy ish that he was doing, Canary, so I agree. It is definitely crossing the line. Yes, it is, love girl. I agree with that. I don't trust him. He will cut the ankle off. I agree with that too. Like, F all that. Put him in prison. I'm just stuck on the fact. You know what? Put him on the registry. He need to be on a sex offenders registry just for the fact of dating little kids, little high schoolers, and he 24. That I'm stuck on that part, man. I'm stuck on it.
Check this one out. Fart leads to death threats. Another trend that we've seen recently has been a whole lot of fart and poop-related crimes. I've actually already made an entire video dedicated to poop-related crimes, but at this rate I could probably make another one. And that brings us to this case. This story started when a 37-year-old woman named Shanetta Yvette Wilson ripped a gnarly fart at a Dollar General in Dania Beach, Florida. After snorting up some of her butt dust against his will, another customer named John Walker made a comment about her fart that Shanetta didn't really appreciate. This led to her verbally lashing out at the man. Shanetta then pulled out a long knife from her purse. She opened up her knife and told John that she was going to gut him for daring to point out her noxious blast. She pulled her hand back as if she were going to stab him before realizing that other people were watching. She then fled the store, leaving everyone else in a state of shock and unpleasant smell. The police tracked her down shortly after too, not too far from the store. Her victim was also able to identify her pretty easily. Shanetta was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. She was taken into a Broward County jail and held on a $2,500 bond. The judge ended up giving her a conditional release. Not only would she have a 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, she would also have to wear an ankle monitor. In addition, she wasn't allowed to contact John ever again and was also banned from Dollar General.
Like, what the hell, man? Some of these stories, like, it just shows you, being team, that people can have evil intentions. Hey, and shout out to our boy Evil Intentions for being in the building for some of the most craziest ish, y'all. Like, some of these are just some of the most what the is going on type of videos, some of the what the is going on type of stories, y'all, that we hear that just sound so fake. But like I said, man, shout out to our boy Jose Ortiz from Evil Intentions for being in the building, y'all. Jose has came by to show love. Shout out to Jose. Hey, Jose, I gotta say it again, my friend. Thank you for sharing my very first true crime video to your channel and having a lot of your people come over and show love to the video. And I was telling the live stream earlier, Jose, that I am working on number 2, and I think this one is gonna be just as crazy or even more crazier with the 10 stories that I have to tell, man. And Kyla said Evil Intentions in the building. Yes, he is in the freaking building. Misha says how she mad that someone else commented on her bad part. I know, right? Like, come on, bro. You gonna get mad because somebody smell that stinky shit? Like, come on, you mad at me because my nose works? That shit stink. Let me stop, man. Let me stop. You Rick Gas and you're the one threatening all others. Like, it's so backwards. It's so backwards, Canary. It is literally freaking backwards. Canary also says you already exposed others to a weapon of mass destruction. That's what I'm gonna say. She says a weapon of war. I'm gonna say a weapon of mass destruction. And then Misha says, "What's up to Evil Intentions?" Shout out to our boy, man. Thank you, Jose. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
And hey, let's keep going down that path with Florida woman poops on floor as a distraction. Again,
Ain't too many farts and poop stores going on right now, man. What, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, man, I just guess because it's so many people in the world, there's so many possibilities out there that any and everything can happen in a day-to-day life. Somewhere out there on earth, things like this happen.
in Florida, Mulberry, Florida to be specific, we have another really shitty story. This one involves a criminal duo, a man and a woman, who played very different parts in this crime. The two walked into a local Family Dollar store, ready to hit it big. However, what they planned to steal wasn't money from the register or anything like that. It was cleaning supplies. The two loaded up a cart with about $500 worth of Gain, Tide, and Clorox products. It was then they decided to put their plan into place. The woman of the duo went to an area where a few of the employees were located and surprised them by dropping her pants. She then started to bend logs all over the floor of the store while her partner in crime made his way outside with the cleaning products. Needless to say, it did work, as most of the employees were completely flabbergasted by this grown woman flopping fat franks on the floor. The man was caught on
This is crazy. This what y'all tactic to freaking steal shit out of a store? No pun intended. Was her shitting on the floor? This is how y'all coordinated this in y'all mind? Oh my God.
security camera footage as he walked out of the store with his overloaded cart. Shortly after, the woman, the excrement enthusiast, left the store with a smirk on her face as the employees stood there in horror. The employees were left to clean up the mess while the two criminals took off in their white van. The police told the public that the act, quote, caused a distraction for employees by using the restroom without going to the restroom. The floor was her restroom, and an employee had to clean that stuff up.
Hold on, man. Time out. Can you imagine? I'm talking to all y'all being team. Can you imagine going to Walmart or whatever grocery store, whatever store, and you walk in there and you walking around and you just see a lady squatting with her pants down or her dress lifted up with her panties down and she shitting on the floor? Can you imagine that? That is unreal to me. But this is real life and that ish actually happens. Jose also says, haha, thank you. Always a pleasure to share. Man, you laughing, Jose, but I'm for real, man. I really appreciate you sharing that video, bro. Shout outs to you, Elizabeth. Bean, I just love your show. Keep going, keep getting on that ass. Hey, Elizabeth, Lizzie. I'm gonna call you Lizzie. Shout out to Lizzie, man. Listen. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking my mind. Hey, y'all know how I am. That's why y'all here listening, because y'all already know I'm gonna speak my mind, and most of the time, y'all, I think would agree with it. These Florida stores are wild. Yes, Kylie. That's the thing about Dial Trip. A lot of these stores come from Florida for some reason. And you know what? If I just want to go real deeper in this conversation real quick, that's another reason I'm so excited for Grand Theft Auto 6. Because Grand Theft Auto 6 is going back to Florida. It's gonna be in Miami, Florida, aka Vice City. And it's just I cannot wait for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not gonna go down that road, but I'll just say that. Diana said that distraction. I would look away so quickly. Hey, Diana, I probably would run. Like, this lady shitting on the floor. I got to get the hell up out of here. I don't want to smell that ish. I'm done. Whatever I was going to get in this store, I will come back tomorrow after y'all clean this off the floor. Seriously. Oh, love girl. I agree. Canary. Most people do a silly dance to distract. I guess the professional league players are built different. I don't know. Yes, another dollar store. This is so crazy, people. Exactly, little girl. It's always Family Dollar or Dollar General. A lot of that crazy ish happen in Dollar General and stuff like that too. Diana says at the dollar store they really don't get paid enough to do that. You can't pay me enough to clean somebody else off the floor, and not at no damn Dollar General. No. I agree, Diana. I agree. Evil Intention also says, I'm taking a week off for GTA 6. LOL. Vice City needs me, bro. Yes, sir, Jose. Yes, freaking sir. That's the same thing I've been saying for over a year now, because, you know, we've been waiting on GTA 6 for feel like 10 years now. When that game come out, now that Jose done brought it up and we on the same wavelength, I just got to get this out. I got to get it out real quick. Being team, I have been a gamer my whole life. I played video games all the way up to I was like, how old am I now? It's like 5 years ago. So let's say till I was 29. I was a video gamer till 29. But for the last 5 years, I have completely stopped playing video games. I don't even have an Xbox Series X. I just have an Xbox One that I haven't turned on in 5 freaking years. But I'm telling y'all, when Grand Theft Auto 6 come out, I'm buying a Xbox Series X. And I'm freaking playing that freaking game for a whole week straight. I'm taking off a whole week of work. Like, for people who don't play games, you just know if you know that Grand Theft Auto is different. Like it's a generational thing. They come out every 5, 6, 10 years, and it just brings gamers back who are not gamers anymore. I'm so excited. I digress. Evil intention. Shout out to you for even bringing that up. He said we starting a clan together ASAP. Yeah, if we gonna play online, Evil Intentions, I'm definitely with you, bro. I'm definitely with you. Love Girl says I have a PS5. Hey, I don't know yet because they haven't confirmed it, but a lot of games nowadays, it don't even matter the platform. They still allow you to play together, and I hope that Grand Theft Auto is the same thing. Hope it's the same thing. I digress, Bean Team. Let's get back into the stores, y'all. I'm sorry, I just had to get that rant off about my video game history and how excited I am for Grand Theft Auto. It's my favorite video game series ever. Let's go.
The police began to refer to the two suspects as Mr. Clean and Miss Dookie, names that the media also chose to run with. With that statement, the police used a round of pretty funny hashtags as well. These included gems like hashtag he made a clean getaway and hashtag she can't really say the same. Another was she wasn't suspect number 2 for nothing. It wasn't too long before both of the two were caught. The man, whose name was Nicky Curry, was caught when he was arrested for another unrelated battery charge. They recognized him from the security camera footage from the Family Dollar. When they showed him the footage to his face, he fully admitted to his involvement. This led them to the woman, Tina Joyce. It was found that she had at least 14 prior theft convictions herself, although the police weren't able to confirm whether or not she had used this same strategy elsewhere. She was arrested and charged with felony petite theft. She was eventually released on a $5,000 bail. Her partner, though, was to remain in jail for his more serious charges. Eventually, when he's released on that one, he'll be delivered to Polk County to face charges for his crime.
That's a shitty story. That's long story, short story long. That's a shitty story that we just heard, big team. And it's ridiculous as hell. I also want to bring this one up. Jose says, same, started on Nintendo and still on it, taking people's lunch money on MK1 and been playing through Death Stranding 2. Hey, Mortal Kombat was really my first introduction into fighting games. I had Mortal Kombat 1 on the Sega Genesis, Mortal Kombat 3 on Super Nintendo, then I got Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Like, I have always been a Mortal Kombat fan too. Canary says, man, they did all that and still got caught. At this point, this was just humiliation ritual. Yes, like at that point, bro, why are you even doing all this if you gonna get caught anyway? You got caught anyway. Kylie says, stinking up the store, stinking it all the way up, Kylie. Where were the customers? The freak up out of the building. That's what a freak they was, Kylie. Love Girl says, and they're making a Street Fighter movie now with WWE wrestlers and other. Yes, they are. Cody Rhodes, I heard he gonna be in it, and Roman Reigns gonna be in it. So shout out to Street Fighter. I used to play Street Fighter too, but I really was a Mortal Kombat guy. And Mortal Kombat got a new movie coming out, I think in October. It's like a Johnny Cage story, so be on the lookout for that one too. Oh my God, Bean Team, I am having so much fun with y'all today. We are not done yet, my friends. Let's keep going.
And here we have Thief Dildos is Through Shop. Alright, I don't even know how to introduce this one. While it doesn't really involve farting or pooping, it's definitely kind of something similar that goes up that alley. Given that I've gotten in trouble for, let's just call them plugs that go in your butt before, I'll have to use some workaround language when talking about this one. Here we have a crime that took place at the Love Shop, an erotic shop in Barcelona, Spain. The place is actually extremely popular, even being known amongst celebrities, said to be a favorite of both Beyoncé and Gwyneth Paltrow. The store features a number of pretty unique adult toys, some of them reaching prices as high as 17,000 euros. One of them was a solid gold vibrating tool. One night, a criminal was caught on CCTV footage, breaking into the store with a flashlight. He made his way straight over to the display case at the center of the store with the most expensive items, clearly knowing where to find them. At first, he simply tried to force the cabinet open with his hands. When it wouldn't give, he noticed that he didn't bring any sort of blunt item with him to smash the glass. So he decided to grab one from the store, choosing a large vibrating tool to do the job. He then threw that straight through the glass, shattering it. The man then took 4 very valuable vibrating tools, shoving them into his pockets. One of them, the golden one, was worth about 15,000 euros itself. With all the others included, he had about 40,000 euros worth of goods in total. He then bolted out of the store and ran off into the night. When the police came out to investigate, they noted that the thief would have had a whole lot of trouble reselling the items. Not only were they well known to have been stolen from the store, but he also forgot the extra items that they came with, like their chargers, meaning that they were incomplete as products. It was also noted that the specific golden item would be very hard to melt down to only get the gold. Not only did the burglar fail to realize these things about the products, he had also forgotten to hide his identity. He, who the police referred to as Idiot, had forgotten to cover his face for the cameras or even wear gloves, causing him to have left fingerprints all over the place. Funnily enough,
Yeah, this dude is a complete idiot. You showing your face, you ain't got gloves on. Like, dude, like Kinnear said, people just doing anything these days. Like, you didn't even think this through, bro. Yes, that was a gold sex plug or sex thingy, whatever it was, vibrator. But you got to think about how you gonna transfer this into money.
though, it seems that the thief, as of now, has gotten away with it.
Wow, he got away with it though. He's still on the loose.
And now, jail goes into lockdown after criminal goes missing. On this channel, we pretty often go over cases in which the criminals or the police are stupid in one way or another, but it's not too often we come across one where the entire jail itself is a complete catastrophe. It's hard to explain this one in the title itself without spoiling the whole thing, so let's just get into it. This story began with a man named Julian Brooks Deloach who was being held in Clayton County Jail in Georgia. Julian had been convicted of murder all the way back in 1984. It seems that he actually did get parole at some point, which was quickly revoked after he committed a misdemeanor crime and ended up back in jail shortly after. One night, it was found that this convicted murderer was missing from his cell, sending jail staff into a complete panic and causing the entire place to go into a lockdown as a massive manhunt began to take place. The county sheriff tried to reassure the public that they were doing everything that they could. He spoke to the media, saying, "We searched every cell, every area of the jail." For 12 hours, all hands were on deck searching for Julian, their supposed escaped murderer. However, at 7 a.m. the next morning, they would come to find him. Julian was sitting alone at the courthouse, where he had been the previous day. The jail staff who had been supposed to escort him had simply forgotten about him. He was sitting there in a courthouse holding cell with only a bench, a sink, and a toilet, and had been there for about 14 hours. So the sheriff explained, there was a mix-up of who was going to take the inmate down, before naming a few employees that he blamed for the mix-up. It was said that many staff members would either be demoted or suspended, with 4 of them waiving their right to a hearing. While that's all bad enough, there have been a good number of dumb controversies at this same prison over the past couple of years. In 2022, a private memo sent out to jail staff was leaked. Within that memo, the staff were ordered to stop giving the keys of the jail to the inmates, saying that it has caused a rise in inappropriate behavior. Yes, the staff had actually been giving the inmates the keys to the facility. The jail came under a lot of fire from both the media and people living nearby. After that,
Okay, this is just crazy. The staff was giving keys to the inmates. Like, that's just wrong in itself. I feel like this whole staff, it's too many different incidents that everybody need to be fired. We need a whole new clean slate. We need a whole new administration to come through here because this is just corrupted. It's corrupted beyond repair at this point.
2 other workers at the jail were arrested on fraud charges. One was found to have been using his phone to let inmates pay him over Cash App to bring them food from the jail kitchen at all hours like room service. He also charged them $32 for a single deck of cards and accepted over $500 for lighters, weed, and cigars that he never even brought them. Another officer, a female one named Mary Moore, ended up in jail herself after she was caught having relations with one of the inmates right in front of a security camera. All of this has led to the locals asking, in their words, what the hell is going on at that jail?
Like, what the hell is going on? Seriously, man. What Canary just said, bro. This is like the one place they can't half their job. You can't. And I don't even feel like they half-assing it. They a quarter half-assing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's even worse than the freaking half. It's 25%. Like, what? Misha, what? Kylie said they might as well set the inmates free. They might as well the freaking inmates running the asylum. I know if y'all have all heard of that quote or that meaning or whatever I'm supposed to be saying. The freaking inmates running the asylum. They having sex on freaking camera. They know the camera up there. They still getting it on. Like what the hell? Diana says, giving them the keys. I am surprised more haven't escaped. That's a great point too. You giving them keys. I'm surprised they ain't freaking got out. LMA, they're hustling. Yeah, man. It's good. Hey, that like I said, that whole jail cell, that whole thing, they need to it just need to be a whole redo. We need to get all the old administration out, all the old guards out, and the new guards in, man. We got to change this around because that prison, that jail has went to hell in a hay basket.
Once again, thank you for watching my video.
And that's the end of Kyle from Dial Trip, y'all. Great video from Kyle, man. I gotta hit that like button on that. I always love his 10 strange and dark cases. I love all his videos, y'all. I know I don't actually show a lot of videos that me reacting to them, but I do pretty much watch all Kyle videos. I fall asleep to them and all that. It's just I don't have enough time. You know, it's not enough time in a day. It's not enough time in a week for me to react to everybody's videos. But when I do get to react to them, I always enjoy them. And I just enjoy watching his videos. But I digress, Bean Team. We still got 2 more channels to go to, y'all. Like I told y'all, and I'll say it again, my friends. This is not a short stream. This is a long stream. Hey, if you have been here so far and now you got to leave, I appreciate you being here. And if you still going to stick around and go to the next video with me, I appreciate that too. But without further ado, before we do that, I will be right back. Back, Bean Team. I am back, and guess what? We are going to the Lazy Man Masquerade. This is his newest video that he put out 2 days ago, and the title of it is "This Water Bottle Just Solved a 24-year Cold Case." Now, what the freak this water bottle got to do with a 24-year-old case, man? Maybe it left some freaking DNA evidence or something like that. I don't know. But we're about to see. The Lazy.
21 years ago, Leslie Preer was found dead inside of her home.
It's innocent until proven guilty, right?
You would just expect for someone to have seen or heard something.
This is all very bewildering, very strange.
There's no tears coming out of your face.
He didn't seem weird, and how you can look somebody in the eye and knowing that you committed this crime and act like nothing happened is pretty unreal.
May 2nd, 2001.
Just another beautiful spring morning on Drummond Avenue, a quiet tree-lined road in the affluent suburb of Chevy Chase, Maryland. Students set off for their Wednesday classes, while commuters poured their coffee and joined the morning rush, their thoughts focused on meetings, emails, and errands. Life for the high-flying professionals who lived there was busy, but it was also comfortable, predictable, and above all, safe. The idea of something dark, something violent, unfolding just a few doors down? Unthinkable. But behind the door of one red brick home on the street, that illusion of security had already been crushed. 4 miles away, alarm bells were sounding at Specialities Inc., a DC-based ad firm. One of the company's most diligent account executives, 49-year-old Leslie Breer, still hadn't shown up for work. She was due to clock in at 10 a.m. It had just turned 10:30. And to most, that might not sound dramatic, but to those who knew Leslie, it was a red flag. She was reliable, predictable, the type who never left people guessing. Yet she hadn't called to say that she was sick, hadn't sent a text about traffic, and now wasn't answering her phone. Her boss, Brett Reedy, took that silence as cause for concern. He contacted Leslie's immediate family members to check that everything was all right. Her daughter, Lauren Breer, was away at university at the time and wasn't sure where her mum was. Leslie's husband, Carl Breer, who went by the nickname Sandy, had last seen her at 7:45 a.m. when he headed off for work. Worried that nobody could reach her, he left his office and went straight home. By late morning, Brett was standing outside 4824 Drummond Avenue. His knocks went ignored, and he saw no movement through the windows. Sandy arrived shortly thereafter, at 11:35 a.m., house key in hand. But he didn't need it. The front door was already unlocked. Together, the two men stepped into a nightmare. The front hallway was streaked with blood. There were spatters and smears on the walls, and a red pool had congealed by the entrance. A nearby table was overturned. A rug had been dragged from the foyer into the living room. Upon seeing this disarray, Brett dialed 911, while Sandy frantically searched for Leslie. He found the family dog shut in the basement, but no sign of his wife anywhere. While Brett talked with dispatchers, Sandy began phoning the local hospitals. That's when the two men were instructed by emergency services to leave the house and wait for assistance. They grabbed the pooch and did so on the lawn. Montgomery County officers arrived at 11:47 a.m. Upstairs, in the master bathroom, they made a grim discovery. A pair of legs were protruding from the shower. Inside the stall, they found Leslie's lifeless body, lying face down in a shallow puddle of water.
It's like that is just be so scary when you hear stories about people being murdered in their own homes. Like she found in her freaking bathtub, in her shower, whatever, when she was cleaning herself. At least I think. But I'm just saying, just being found in your own home, period. It's just so eerie and scary, man. Like, lock your doors, double lock your doors or something, BT. Like, seriously, man. And even if you do lock and double lock, triple lock, that really can't stop an intruder for getting in if they really want to get in, my friends. I'm just saying, man, it's just crazy to think about the one place that you think you're safe at. Sometimes you still are not safe. Rest in peace.
News spread fast and sent shockwaves through the community. Chevy Chase was a notably low-crime suburb, one of the most affluent in the entire country, and the victim was a warm person from a tight-knit family. Could this have simply been an accident? The result of a trip in the hallway that finished Leslie off while she cleaned up in the shower? Authorities decided to wait 2 days for post-mortem results before jumping to conclusions. Autopsy findings revealed 7 lacerations on Leslie's head, consistent with being struck against a hard surface. There were multiple bruises on her torso and hemorrhaging around her neck area. This was no accident. Leslie had been strangled, and her head battered onto the foyer floor and the sharp edge of the shoe molding by the front door, hence the mess in the entrance. She had then been dragged upstairs into the shower and washed, an apparent attempt by the killer to destroy evidence, control bleeding, and perhaps stage an accidental fall. A forensic reagent revealed hidden evidence of a half-hearted cleanup attempt. Large areas in the foyer where blood had pooled and been wiped or dabbed away. Distinct swipe patterns were visible on the door and floor leading toward the staircase. The same forensic process revealed additional residue around the kitchen and the downstairs bathroom sinks. Dark red spots and smears were flagged throughout the kitchen, along door frames, on the trash can, and the back door which led to the garden. Crucially, not all of it belonged to Leslie. According to the Cellmark Diagnostics Lab, 3 blood samples at the scene, a droplet under the dining room window baseboard, another in the kitchen doorway, and a smear on the interior side of the kitchen door leading to the backyard, belonged to a single, unidentified male. Leslie had clearly fought back. Under her fingernails, the lab recovered traces of DNA that matched the unknown man's profile. Whoever had done this hadn't gotten away clean, but he had gotten away, and he had done so in a hurry. No official timeline has ever been released for this case, but here's what we do know. On the morning of May 2nd, only 2 people were inside 4824 Drummond Avenue: Leslie and Sandy. As mentioned, Sandy left for work at 7:45 a.m. Leslie planned to leave at around 9 a.m. as per usual, to catch a bus to her office on Wisconsin Avenue. The culprit must have struck during that hour and 15-minute window when she was alone. With May 2nd being a weekday, he'd then have plenty of time to bleach the scene uninterrupted. What he didn't count on was how quickly Leslie's absence would raise alarms. Red and Sandy entered the home at roughly 11:35 a.m. That means the intruder only had between 2 hours 35 minutes and 3 hours 50 minutes to gain access, commit the slaying, stage the scene, and scrub away every trace of DNA. That's not much time. It's entirely possible then that Brett and Sandy's sudden arrival forced the killer to flee partway through his cleanup. Maybe he heard them outside, freaked out, and tried to escape through the dining room window, leaving behind a droplet of blood on the baseboard. When that didn't work, maybe he rushed into the kitchen, leaving another drop in the doorway, and then finally exited through the back door, smearing more on the handle as he left. That's a lot of mights and maybes, but it would explain why the perp foolishly left traces of his own blood behind for experts to analyze.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of mights and maybes of what could have happened. Man, please don't end up letting this be an unsolved mystery. As far as we don't find out who the actual killer is, big team. Y'all know I have a love and hate relationship for these rabbit holes. And it seemed like the lazy man taking us down a rabbit hole where it's going to be a lot of different theories of what could have happened. I'm loving it, but I'm hating it at the same time. Let's go.
Unfortunately, the suspect's DNA didn't match with any samples in CODIS, the national DNA database, and so detectives vetted everyone close to Leslie. Her husband Sandy was of course first under the microscope. His daughter Lauren defended him staunchly. She knew her parents' relationship was solid, and that her father wasn't responsible. A DNA comparison proved her right, and Sandy was ruled out quickly. Yet suspicion lingered. Further DNA samples were collected from everyone with close ties to Leslie, but none were a match. While investigators did examine other homicides in the broader Montgomery County area, they determined this to be an isolated incident. This left the MCPD scratching their heads. There was no obvious motive, and none of the neighbors had seen or heard anything out of the ordinary that morning. Without leads, the case froze over. Lauren stayed in contact with the authorities, but years passed without any new developments. Sadly, Sandy passed away in 2017, never knowing who killed his wife, never fully clearing his name of suspicion. But the Montgomery County Cold Case Unit didn't let go, and with each year that went by, technology improved. Specifically, in 2018, there was a massive breakthrough in forensic science: genetic genealogy, a revolutionary method that uses DNA from crime scenes to track down suspects via their distant relatives. The technique has since been used to solve over 500 cold cases and has brought some of America's most elusive monsters, like Gary Hartman, William Earl Talbot II, and Joseph James DeAngelo, out from the shadows and into jail.
Little girl told me I'm muted again. But what I was talking about, y'all, is that the freaking I'm very familiar now with this whole new technology as far as being able to actually track down these murders, as far as like with the family tree, with the DNA, where you can start with a distant cousin or a distant uncle, a distant brother, like somebody, and they can actually use that DNA, that blood sample, to track it down to freaking you. And I hope in the future, y'all, like we get to a point where this DNA can be irrefutable, where we can track it all the way down to you, man. Shout out to Kyle, and she said you muted too, and my girl Canary. Yeah, man, my fault, y'all. But great video from Lazy, man. Now I'm starting to wonder, are we gonna get back to the point where this is a solved case? I don't know. Let's go.
Jail cells. But the question on Montgomery County PD's mind was, could genetic genealogy help identify Leslie Prior's killer too? In September 2022, cold case investigators submitted the preserved DNA found under Leslie's fingernails to Othram Inc. There, they conducted forensic-grade genome sequencing, the first time the technique had been used in Maryland state history. After analyzing the samples, the lab identified shared markers to an individual living in Romania. This person was one of the killer's distant relatives, one they'd probably never met, one who had innocently submitted their DNA to a commercial genetic database in order to research their ancestry, one who had unwittingly cracked this case wide open.
Wow.
Working backwards, detectives were able to draw up a family tree, and after 2 years of building branches, they honed in on one name in particular. A man living in the United States. Eugene Gligor. He was an ex-boyfriend of Leslie's daughter, Lauren, but hadn't been considered a suspect, as the two had lost contact years before the murder. In chatting with Lauren, investigators learned more about her past with Eugene. They had met when she was 15, were high school sweethearts, lived just 10 minutes apart, and frequently visited one another. To Lauren, he was outgoing, charming, handsome. Her mother Leslie had welcomed him into their lives. Her father Sandy, on the other hand, had always thought there was something off with the boy. During their courtship, Eugene never once displayed signs of violence towards Lauren. However, as he got older, he began to exhibit delinquent behavior and was arrested on charges of weapons possession and a DUI. Despite coming from a wealthy background himself, additional incident reports listed him as a suspect in multiple residential thefts in the local area, and he even matched the description of a boy who had assaulted a woman near Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Lauren personally defended Eugene against that last suspicion, telling the police that he was both harmless and innocent. In the end, no charges were filed against him, and he was never swabbed. Lauren and Eugene broke up when they enrolled at different universities. The split had been amicable, and they both moved on to different partners. They didn't stay in direct contact, but occasionally bumped into one another when they attended events hosted by mutual friends. There was never any tension when they did. Eugene was 21 years old at the time of Leslie's slaying. He and his mother relocated to Washington, D.C. a few months after. Friends, both new and old, sometimes asked him about who he thought killed Mrs. Prior. With a steady gaze and a calm tone of voice, he'd always reply in the same manner. "Your guess is as good as mine." The cold case unit began looking through their extensive evidence file, and while doing so, they couldn't believe what they found. Eugene Gligor's name had actually come up during the initial search for clues, and not just from Sandy, whose suspicions fell on deaf ears. In January 2002, a tip came in from one of Eugene's old neighbors in Kenwood, who had told investigators they suspected he may have been connected to Leslie Prior's death. The tipster noted that the police had frequently visited the Gligor household in the past for issues like noise complaints, underage drinking, and marijuana usage. After talking with this neighbor, the original investigators still didn't consider Eugene a suspect. Though a mischievous youth, he had seemingly straightened himself out at college, had stayed out of trouble, hadn't stayed in contact with the Priors, and in their eyes, had no conceivable motive. He wasn't asked to submit a sample of his DNA, wasn't so much as questioned. In hindsight, it was a missed opportunity. but more diligent officers had since taken over the investigation. They identified Eugene Gligor living in the U Street corridor, a trendy nightlife district in Washington, D.C. There, he worked as an account executive for a firm specializing in surveillance equipment. Ironically, Eugene was now the one being watched. But before officers could act, they needed a DNA sample to compare with the matter found under Leslie's nails. So, they staged a covert operation. On June 9th, 2024, Eugene landed at Dulles International Airport after returning from a trip to Europe. Under the guise of a routine secondary screening, a US customs officer led him into a room where several plastic water bottles had been placed on a table. Eugene took the bait, grabbing one of the bottles and drinking its contents. Detectives watched through surveillance monitors as Eugene left his mock screening, discarded the bottle in the trash, and went on his merry way.
Wow.
Agents collected the bottle shortly thereafter and sent it in for testing. The lab results were irrefutable. The DNA found on the bottle matched the crime scene profile. The person
like, wow, dude, I just gotta stop it, y'all. I'm so freaking like happy how far we have come with the technology of being able to use this DNA and different tactics to track people down. Like, just the DNA of him drinking the water bottle and throwing it away ties into this whole my family tree, his family tree of how they tracked him down, with just starting with one family member with the DNA and narrowing it down to him, and then using this different tactic. Like, I'm just like, this stuff didn't exist back in the day. Back in the 1980s, this was non-existent. You know what I'm saying, Bean Team? Even the 1990s, even the 2000s, like, this thing is just getting better and better with this DNA, and I just hope it keeps improving. I just gotta keep saying that, y'all. I gotta keep freaking saying that. Little girl says they are so smart. Yes, man. He looks like a good man, but like I said, wolf in sheep's clothing. That's exactly what he was. He got a beautiful smile, and come to find out, he a freaking murderer. Vendetta says was waiting until dinner to join tonight. Beans, haha, got some pizza. That is so crazy, Vendetta, that you said that, because I also ordered me some Papa John's, man. And as soon as I get off this live stream, I'm gonna eat me about 2 or 3 more slices of that pizza. I digress, big team. Got his ass. Yeah, they got him. And if this would have been what it is, it's 2025. If this was 1985, he more than likely would have got away with it. But we way more advanced now, and I am happy that we are. Let's keep going. Great video from the Lazy Man.
Leslie had scratched while fighting for her life. The person whose flesh was under her nails was most certainly Eugene Gligor. And so it was that one piece of trash had just helped to apprehend another. On June 18th, 2024, a US Marshal Task Force apprehended Eugene Gligor outside his DC apartment. He was sipping coffee and scrolling on his phone as they approached him. From there, he was taken to the station for interrogation. What followed was a 24-minute confrontation. Detectives Augustin and Dupuy entered the room. After advising Eugene of his rights, they began.
And just real quick, y'all can just see that he had no care in the world. Like, he didn't think he was gonna get caught at all. He just leisurely out drinking coffee, just enjoying his morning. You know what I'm saying? And guess what, buddy? You have got caught. Now confess up. Confess. Don't lie. Don't lie. We know you did it. We got the DNA evidence. But I bet he's still gonna lie. Let's see.
How well did you know Lauren's mom? Like, was there ever any kind of a weird relationship between you two after Lauren?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't in touch, so I don't.
Okay. So you were never like dating Lauren's mom or anything like that behind the scenes?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't ever in touch. You know that.
Okay. So from the crime scene, we have DNA from the person who was there when Leslie died. So there's Leslie's blood all over the place, obviously, but then there's also another DNA profile that was picked up from the crime scene. So we realized that they never talked to you, never did anything, and we wanted to find out more about you. And if there was any kind of situation where you could have been at the house at that time.
I'm a little confused. So to find out more and talk to me, why not just call me and ask me to come in and talk to me versus have marshals come and arrest me and bring me in? I'm just confused as to why that's the case.
Well, because we needed to talk to you in a controlled environment, and because there's a little bit more to it than what we've told you so far.
Could you tell me?
Well, we're getting there. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to be a little bit forthcoming before we.
I mean, I feel a little bit trapped here. Like,
well, you're under arrest, so you should feel trapped.
Right. And so I think, I mean, probably asking for a lawyer is my best course of action at this point.
No, you want to ask for a lawyer. Oh, of course. Oh, freaking course. This dude pissing me off because he's trying to play the victim in his case. You know what I'm saying? Why did y'all call me here? Why did y'all arrest me? I feel like this. I feel like that. I feel like I need me a lawyer. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't care, man. Long as you can get your lawyer. Get your lawyer all the freak you want. But at the end of the day, as long as I hear that you're locked up for the rest of your life, or even the death penalty, that's always a chance. I don't know what state they in, but I'm for it. Even the death penalty, as long as you get the death penalty or life in prison, I'm good. But all this trying to play the victim at this point is disgusting. You nasty for that, bro. You nasty.
That's totally fine. And we don't have to ask you any more questions, but we are going to just tell you some stuff. Okay. So from the crime scene, the DNA that was taken, we actually have a sample of your DNA, and it was compared to the crime scene DNA, and it matched. So we know that you were there at the time when Leslie died.
But I never gave a sample of DNA.
That's correct. We obtained a sample from a discarded water bottle that you drank out of. So you were
Got him.
Followed, and we collected it after you discarded it into the trash, and it was swabbed and it was compared. So your DNA matches the crime scene DNA.
Look at him. He fucking flabbergasted. I don't even know how to spell flabbergasted, but he is flabbergasted right now. He don't know what the freak to say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 2025 where we got the correct gene. Somebody said it. Let me try to say the freaking word. Somebody said it. I can't even freaking find it in the comments now. But okay, here you go from Vendella. Genealogy advancements. Yeah. The genealogy advancements are magnificent. Yes, they are. They are freaking excelente. Got his ass. He freaking flabbergasted, y'all. He don't know what the freak to say at this point. He have no idea, but you're caught, buddy. You are caught.
Say I have no recollection. I have no memory. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, that's why we wanted to talk to you, to find out if there's any other explanation. But we can't ask you any more questions if you want a lawyer present.
Yeah, I think I should have a lawyer present. I just don't know what to do or say. It doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Do you have a lawyer that you...
No.
Okay.
I don't have to call. I don't know. I probably call my girlfriend and ask her to help find someone. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me unmute myself. Okay, this dude is just being fucking ridiculous now. Now he doing the whole alligator tears thing. He fake crying and stuff. My girl Diana says if he was innocent, even with his DNA, it wouldn't come back on the scene. Questioning how they got shows he is guilty. Yes, you like how they got it. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what to think. They got him in such a corner They got him so trapped, he have no idea how to get out of it, Diana. He has no idea. My girl, Canary says flabbergasted like he didn't expect to be caught. That's the thing. He didn't expect. And that's why he flabbergasted now. He don't know what the freak to say. Oh, little girl, he is lying. Stop crying. He is a horrible actor, man. Shut up. Yeah, shut the fuck up, bro. Long story short, story long. I couldn't be that lady right there. And you can see just by her, just the way she rubbing her face like this, she really want to say something to his ass right now. She trying to hold it together like, motherfucker, we got you. We got you. You caught. You are freaking caught, man. Just give it up. The gig is up. It is up. That's why I couldn't be in there talking to him. My girl Lizzie still here. Shout out to Lizzie, y'all. Shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all still here, man. We still got over 20 people in the building, and we over 2 hours and 30 minutes into this live stream. But Lizzie says now he has lost his memories. Dude, please, like, bro, just matter of fact, when you go into jail, I'm gonna give you the access to lock it behind you yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just lock yourself in there yourself. Like, seriously, Vendetta, he is a straight weenie for this, bro. You kill an innocent in cold blood. You killed an innocent in cold blood, and now you trying to act like a fucking, like you the victim. Now I was finna say something. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Canary says everything he doing is pissing me off. Stop breathing, bro. Goddamn, Canary, stop breathing. Hey, I mean, in a way, I kind of agree with that, because if they gave him the death penalty, I would be right there with my hand raised like he should get it. So I kind of get what you're saying, Canary. I get what you're saying. Let's go.
That's fine. We're not going to ask you any more questions. There's no tears coming out of your face.
I'm very dry right now.
You're dry?
I'm very dry. I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. You can probably see my eyes are bloodshot red because I'm just tired and drained. I don't know what's going on. You want me to drink water so I can tear? Like, what is wrong with you?
I don't want you to tear. I just don't want you to.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that this seems a little put on.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God, you're so full of it. You're just.
Oh my God, man. I'm sorry to keep stopping it, Bean Team, but this is probably the worst acting job I ever seen. My girl, Misha, the newest member of the Bean Team All-Star, says, I'm very dry right now is crazy. That shit is crazy. What the fuck, bro? I have never heard of you trying to say that because you dehydrated, you can't shed tears. What the Canary? He is cooked. This dude is cooked. He has been flipped over and over again to the point where he is very well done. Little girl, he's digging his hole. And they in it wide. It's a wide ass freaking hole, man. Oh my God, LSB, this shit, wow. His old acting job is just so wild and crazy, kids. Shout out to Nickelodeon. If you know, Wild and Crazy Kids. A great show, I should say, that I used to watch as a kid. Let's go.
You're after. This is the police. This is, yes, like, it makes sense. You know, it's in your eyes, it's guilty until proven innocent. I get it.
Well, honey, your DNA was in the crime scene. That's why, like, there's a reason.
There's due process, right? Due process. So you're saying I'm guilty before I've even been put into a court of law?
I'm saying that there's probable cause to believe that you were there when
I think what you were saying was the contrary to that. So, okay. But I don't remember. I don't know.
So what we're trying to figure out is how your blood was at the scene that day.
I don't know. I don't have any recollection of being involved with any of this.
You keep saying you don't remember and you don't have any recollection.
Well,
but if somebody was not involved, it would be an adamant, I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I definitely didn't do it. Like, this is Absolutely. I definitely, this is, you know,
I don't know why your blood is there also. I don't know.
wow.
The only person that knows is Leslie, and she can't tell us.
Wow. Can't believe it.
It was clear Eugene was putting on an act, playing for more time, as if getting away with murder for nearly a quarter of a century wasn't enough. Thankfully, he wasn't fooling anyone, and was subsequently charged with first degree. His friends and neighbors were shocked. In their words, Eugene was a zen, happy, and positive person, focused on personal growth. He was community-driven. He gave generously to charity. A former co-worker said he couldn't imagine Eugene hurting a fly. Others, though, saw through his charade. One colleague stated that although he appeared receptive and warm at first, when challenged, Eugene could be a, quote, giant, condescending prick. One of his 2 ex-wives accused him of being aggressive, throwing things, and punching walls during arguments. His own brother had expressed fear that Eugene might one day hurt him. Even so, nobody suspected his dark secret, especially not Lauren. In her words, she never imagined the person that she had once dated, the gentle young man who had once sat around her family's table, whom she had once cared for and defended, would one day be responsible for such a grievous betrayal. When she had first told Eugene about her mother's death, he had embraced her and convincingly said, "I'm so sorry." When she ran into him again at a restaurant shortly before his arrest, he appeared calm and collected. "He didn't seem weird," Lauren recalled. "And how you can look at someone in the eye, knowing that you committed this crime, and act like nothing happened, is pretty unreal." Clearly, Mr. Gligor's act wasn't just for his interrogators. He had convinced almost everyone in his social circle that he was a mild-mannered man, leaving them to grapple with the reality of his actions. Could their charming, helpful, longtime friend also be a cold-hearted monster? By his own admission, yes. In May 2025, Eugene Gligor, now 45 years old, pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of second degree, meaning he admits to taking Leslie's life, but that his actions weren't premeditated. He's now facing up to 30 years in prison.
30.
State's Attorney John McCarthy remarked, "It doesn't bring Leslie back, but now they know who did it to her. There's no such thing as closure, but I'm proud of what we do together, and I'm proud of our continuing search to find creative ways to make people in this community safer." The last question on most of your minds is likely this: why? What exactly compelled Eugene to enter the Prier family's home and so callously take the life of a woman who had been nothing but nice to him? A woman who had cooked him meals, who had taken him on trips to the beach, who had played board games with him. A woman who he hadn't seen in at least 2 years. Some have speculated that he was motivated by lust, anger, or simple murderous curiosity. Indeed, given that there was no sign of a forced entry, it's possible Eugene simply knocked on the door, and Leslie, recognizing a friendly face from the past, led him inside. But if this had been a premeditated homicide, Eugene had been extremely inept.
Yeah.
He hadn't brought a weapon, needed to brutally finish Leslie off with his own hands, and had sustained a wound in the process. In the state attorney's words, the circumstances suggest that this was more likely a spur-of-the-moment thing. As mentioned, Eugene had been a suspect in a string of burglaries during his teenage years. I can't help but wonder whether this was another break-in gone wrong. He knew the layout of the house, knew where the valuables were kept. What he didn't know was that he would come face to face with Leslie, a woman who knew his name, his address, a woman who, from everything I've read, would almost certainly have helped him mend his ways had he only stopped there. But as his ex-wife attested, when backed into a corner, Eugene had both a temper and a tendency to lash out. Perhaps when he encountered Leslie, he panicked, and his aggressive side reared its ugly head.
Yep.
Then, instead of stealing anything, he focused on covering his tracks as best he could. That's all speculative on my part. Ultimately, the only person who knows why Leslie died is Eugene, and he has yet to give an explanation. Not to the police, not to the Bray family, not to the court. After 24 years, that question of motive remains unanswered. But hopefully, not for much longer. Eugene's sentencing hearing is scheduled for August 28th, 2025. That's the day that Lauren and the rest of her family hope to hear something, anything, about why.
Man. Whoo-wee. Is that the end?
A huge
That's
thank you to
the
my
end, my
supporters here on
friend.
YouTube.
That's the end of that one, Mal. And I just gotta freaking say that I literally, like, I'm pretty much convinced that he killed that woman. And it's just like, dude, at this point, for me, it's like, bro, you got away with it for what, 24 years? I know it was 20 plus years that you got away with this ish. At this point, just tell the fucking truth, man. Technology has got better. We finally was able to catch up with you and you doing this ish. And it's just like, tell the truth. But another thing I gotta bring up too is I don't think that he knew when he did this. I don't think that he knew that Elizabeth, whatever her name was, I can't remember her name, but I don't think that he knew she was gonna be in that home. And that's what made him like just freak out and end up killing her, because he was doing what he was doing, and now he doing what he doing, and he actually come face to face with somebody that actually know him, that don't know he doing this ish, and now he know that that person know that he doing this ish, and they gonna end up telling everybody, and now everybody gonna know he doing this crazy ish, and that's why he felt the need to kill her. But it's like, dude, you got away with it for that long, so why, like, at this point, you caught, the evidence is there. You should at least confess at this time, dude. You done live free for 24 freaking years after committing murder. And I don't know. He just seemed like one of those ones that gonna stick to his story and just keep lying to the death of him. He gonna go to trial and hopefully get committed of the murder and get life in prison, hopefully, and he's still gonna be saying he innocent. He one of those type of guys. Kyler Nelson back in the building. Kylie says, I'm back, being team. I had to make a quick run to the bar to get more wine. Hey, I gotta go get one more up out the refrigerator myself. And then we're gonna get into the last video, y'all. I will be right back. And I'm back, being team. I'm back for the final time. That's my final time of leaving and coming back, because we are on the last freaking video, the last channel that we're gonna go to. Y'all already know I like to end it off with freaking a video from the EWU crew. Love Girl says, can't wait for the next video. And like I said, Love Girl, the next video is coming from EWU Body freaking Cam, y'all. EWU Body Cam. They put this video out 4 days ago. I think it's their most recent video, and we're gonna get into it. And the title of it is Cops Discover Horrific Secret Hidden in Baby. Let me say that over again, because the freaking title is so crazy that I gotta say it over again because I'm trying to get it right. Cops discover horrific secret hidden in baby's throat. That's the part where F me up. Secret hidden in baby's throat? What the hell can be a secret in a baby's throat? Is it drugs? I'm trying to come up with something that can be nothing is plausible, but plausible within reason, I guess I could say. Did they hide some drugs in the baby throat? It can't be a gun. Can't no gun get in a baby throat. I don't know, Bean Team. I don't know, man. All I want to say one more time before we get into the last video, shout out to y'all because we almost 3 hours in and we still got 25 people here. This whole live stream, we have had like 20 people this whole time. So shout out to all y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Appreciate y'all being here. And we're going to end this thing off right with the crazy one. Let's go.
Come on! Can y'all please help us? He can't breathe!
I know something was in his mouth. Boom. I'm like, babe, he choking. What's this?
This was in his throat. I tried. There's nothing I could do.
On June 25th, 2022, in Cleveland, Ohio, a chaotic 911 call summons paramedics to the home of an unresponsive 13-week-old infant. But when a troubling discovery is made, investigators begin to question the circumstances, raising the unsettling possibility that what happened may have been no accident.
It's okay. I bet you I'm going to win this. Watch this.
The following is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before. At 7:37 a.m., emergency dispatchers answer a frantic plea for help.
Can y'all please help us?
Okay, excuse me, sir. What's the address of the emergency?
What?
Okay, sorry.
Can y'all please hurry?
Sir. Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know your number.
Okay, hello? Can someone tell me what happened? Hello?
Don't worry, I'm sure it's cold.
Hello?
He can't breathe. He can't breathe. What the you mean? What happened?
I'm gonna Okay, can I speak to one person?
A woman takes control of the call, finally getting vital information to the dispatcher.
His father banged on our door and said his son stopped breathing.
Okay, can you just stay on the phone so I can talk to one person so I can get this help started?
Yes.
Are you with the patient now?
Yes, we just woke
and
up.
And how did sir, ma'am.
3 months.
The dispatcher assures her that help is on the way, but with precious seconds slipping by, getting aid to the baby before paramedics arrive is critical.
Okay, listen, ma'am. I'm going to tell you how to get mouth to mouth.
Okay, go. I'm ready. Come on.
Okay, now completely cover the baby's mouth.
Yes,
his mouth and nose with your mouth. Then I want you to blow 2 puffs of air into his lungs, about 1 second each, just enough to make the chest rise with each breath, okay? Yeah. Now, did you feel the air going in and out?
Yes.
At 7:46 a.m., paramedics finally reach the scene, 9 minutes after the call began. The 13-week-old baby is rushed to the Metro Health Hospital, but it's too late. The tragedy becomes far more disturbing when an alarming discovery is made during life-saving efforts, leading to an urgent call to police.
Hi, Janice, Social Work Metro Health Medical Center. I'm calling to notify requesting police homicide, probably, for a baby death. EMS may have already called, but just in case, I need to make sure that it was called in.
A quick check of her records finds no earlier notification to police.
Why didn't they call us? It's a 13-week-old. I'll be honest with you, I don't know the babe. I wonder why. Did EMS pick the baby up? Yeah. Now, will you guys notify homicide?
You know what? Are we calling this a violent death?
No. Well, we don't know. Undetermined.
The heartbreaking screams of the infant's parents, 18-year-old Travion Hughes Sr. and 18-year-old Asiana McEwen, can be heard in the background of the call.
Oh, and they don't know how it happened.
Undetermined. I mean, we have speculation, but I'm going to say undetermined.
Okay, we'll get a car out there.
Okay.
All right.
Probably sooner than later. They're going.
They're who?
They're going over here.
They're going what?
They're going crazy over here.
Well, who's there?
Is it Mom, Dad?
Cleveland police respond urgently and make their way to the...
Say real quick, Bean Team, I just gotta say, They are some freaking young ass parents. Both of them are 18. Like they little kids to me. I'm 34. They are little kids themselves to me. And they raising this child and this crazy ish happened. Like now I'm starting to wonder what could have really went down this baby throat. I was thinking like drugs or something crazy. Canary said a bullet. Kylie said, I hope it wasn't drugs, but maybe it was something like a toy or let's go. This is
Crisis station, where hospital staff reveal the cause of their alarm and the reason homicide detectives have been requested.
What's this?
This was in his throat.
Okay. You guys suspect foul play or anything like that?
I don't think a 3-month-old's gonna willingly shove that in their mouth.
What is that?
Like a baby wipe.
A baby wipe?
Yeah, 3-month-olds aren't like walking early, you know? Yeah.
Jeff evidence. Baby wipe. He thinks that it's suspicious that I guess they do kid baby wipe.
a baby wipe. Oh, hell no. Lock both of them up. Lock them up. Let's lock them up. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. Lock them up. Ain't nowhere in hell, man, that a 2-month-old baby is gonna freaking sit up here and just do that. Y'all put that in his mouth to stop him from crying. And I fuck talking about I'm jumping to conclusions, even though I might be. Lock them up. And I'm just done. Lock them up. Long story short, short story long.
Yeah.
So they have it over there.
Yeah.
Just listening to your parents. They're devastated.
The parents are actually going crazy.
Yeah. That's repeating a lot.
How the blood-stained baby wipe became lodged in the infant's throat is now a question homicide detectives must work to answer. They meet with the infant's parents, as well as his brother Travier and his brother's girlfriend Cassandra, the woman who performed CPR during the 911 call.
Hi, guys. Hi. I'm Detective Loomis. Dad?
Yes.
So sorry for your loss, folks, honestly. Who was at home at the time? All of you guys? Okay.
I was at work.
You were at work? Okay.
Investigators meet with Travion and Daciana separately in an effort to understand more about what happened with their son this morning.
So, when you left for work this morning, was the baby sleeping?
No, he was up.
He was up?
I woke up and then I checked on that. It's like I do it every morning. I wake up and check on him because he sleeps right next to me in his bassinet. So I look on him.
He was in the bassinet next to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he was up just staring. So I picked him up and I was just holding him and kissing him. And then I had put him down and started getting ready for work.
After leaving for work, Travion was left to care for the baby. Not long after she left, the infant began to cry.
When he was crying, I made him about him, and he'll choke himself like he greedy. He'll be
good
choking. You feel me?
Good eater.
So I'll be pulling it out of his mouth, give him pick him up, burp him, send him back down, let him drink again. I keep burping him because he'll keep doing it. He's premature, so I always did it constantly for him, and I set the little wipe under his neck because when it's dripping down, you know how milk smells.
What time did he call and say the baby was choking?
I was already on the flight. Before the baby was choking and everything, I was already on the phone with him. It was around 7. I don't know the precise time because I'm a DSP. I take care of older people with disabilities. So I was taking care of him, but I had my AirPod in. So I was listening to him. We was talking and everything. He was like, okay, I'm finna step out the room real quick. He went to go step out the room. Then he got quiet. I didn't hear nothing. Then he came back in the room and was like, the baby choking, the baby choking.
I know something was in his mouth. After I'm trying to go down deep into it, I'm like, babe, he choking. So I'm trying to get this out his mouth. I'm constantly doing it, but it's not working. So I'm overly panicking.
He then explains that when his efforts to remove the obstruction,
I was muted again, Bean Team, but all I was saying was at this point, man, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what we all can come to the conclusion of. This man got tired of his little child crying, so he decided to put the freaking baby wipe in the baby's mouth and muffle the screams, to muffle the cries, which we all have done when we was little babies at that point, a 3-month-old. He tired of a 3-month-old crying, so that's his solution to the problem. I don't even think the mother had nothing to do with it at this point. It's this dude, and this dude need to be locked up for the rest of his freaking life.
weren't working, he ran to get help from Trevier and Cassandra.
My big brother grabbed him, rushed to the kitchen, set him down on the countertop in the kitchen, doing this. You feel me? We see nothing. What we doing is working, so we called the ambulance.
Who calls 911?
His girl, my sister. I call her my sister. Yeah. She calling the ambulance, telling them to rush here, like, please hurry up. Please, can y'all hurry? Rush, please, can you feel me? Then y'all was taking like over 20, 30 minutes, so we just waited. It's still sitting here, and he's constantly, you feel me, like getting this little move, and I see it's not in his throat no more. It felt like it was lodged right here. When I was trying to go and hit to his neck to get it out, he closing his mouth. He don't want me in his, like, you feel me? Like, he don't want me in his mouth. He closing it. You feel me? And that's what's made me hard for me to go in there because my hands are so thick.
Well, you can feel it in there. You just couldn't get a grab on it.
You feel me? Because it was too slippery.
Did he say anything else to you?
No, when I got to the house, I'm like, what happened? How did he choke? And then he was like, was wiping him down, the milk and stuff off him. He set the wipe next to him and walked out the room. And when he came back, the wipe was inside the baby's throat. He said he was trying to pull it out, but he couldn't. His hand was too big.
Back at the house, officers monitor the property, which has now been secured as a crime scene. Investigators arrive on site and begin discussing the details of the case.
Once we got there, the nurses and the doctors showed, did you see the projectile? The little baby that was in its throat. Yeah. How does a 3-month-old do that? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. It was a pretty big one.
When they learn Cassandra's 2 children also live in the home, some officers begin to speculate, unconvinced that what happened was merely an accident.
Something happens there. Accident, just grab that thing itself and shut it down its throat.
Hey, now that's a good theory, Bean Team. How y'all feel about that? Do y'all think it was just one of the other kids that did it to the little infant? Now that I'm saying it, I really don't think that that's a good theory. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think any of the little kids would just decide to freaking shove a baby wipe down their little brother mouth or whatever, their throat, mouth, even though they're little kids. But little kids, we do the darnest things at little kids. I just feel like it was the father. The father got tired of the freaking baby crying, so he thought that I'm just fuck it. I'm gonna put the baby wipe in your mouth and so you can shut up. And look what ended up happening. That's what I think happened, man. Callie says, "There's no way the father didn't know he had a baby wipe inside his baby's mouth." That's what I'm saying. Like, the cops bringing up a great point, thinking that maybe it's the kids, but no. Regardless, we got to put this all on the father. We got to put this on the adult in this situation, man. Diana, this is so dumb, man. Why would mouth-to-mouth help when the baby has a wipe inside him? Remove the damn wipe is how you help him breathe. And I agree with you, Diana. His whole reasoning was my hand too thick. I couldn't, and every time I was trying to pull it out, he was closing his mouth. Like this. God, man, some people just should never have kids ever. It's just what it is. Some people should not have freaking kids, man. Kylie says, I need to hear more detail because my 2-year-old niece put things in her mouth all the time. I agree with that too, Kylie. But you talking about a 2-year-old. From what I know, this was not even a 1-year-old. This was a 3-month-year-old. Like infant, can't even walk yet. So how did they grab? I don't know. I don't know. Let's go.
The kid was crying, and like the kid just, the mom was being, wasn't going and soothing the child, so the kid just like, I can't say it, so I'm just gonna shut it up, you know?
Yep.
Goes in there and shuts it down.
However, Cassandra tells investigators her 2 children weren't home, and the only child in the house was the 3-month-old, who had been sleeping in a bassinet next to his mother until she left for work. Investigators pose a critical question to the parents.
Was your baby pick stuff up before and tried to eat it?
Yeah. He's an advanced baby. He knows how to hold his own bottle. Like he when you try to pull a bottle away from him, he like reaches to grab it back. He'll pick it back up and put it back in his mouth.
Okay. Does he ever put anything else in his mouth though besides the bottle?
Anything he grabs.
You're saying that he's picked up stuff in his mouth before. Do you remember anything specific he's ever put in his mouth besides the bottle? Did he ever pick something up?
Candy, cookies, anything. Like
he'll
it don't matter what it is, he'll put it in his mouth. Yeah. It don't matter. Like I don't mind explaining. Like a sock, he'll do anything.
Okay.
Literally, anything he see, you think it's cool. He'll even suck on your.
Within reach, he'll grab it.
Yeah, he'll even suck on your.
He can do this pretty well. He can reach around and he can grab stuff.
Yeah. And he'll even suck on you. Like no hump. Like that sound look gay, but no hump. He'll even suck on your nose type.
Yeah, bro.
You think it's food.
No.
Yeah.
Paramedics quickly arrived after the 911 call was placed, but once on
Sorry, man. I just gotta bring it up, man. This dude is not fit to be a father. He 18, he young, and he freaking dumb. He not fit to be a father. Just the fact that he talking about no homo and all that, like he not even. I don't think he understands what really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like he not really focused in on really what happened, dude.
scene, they said they were not notified that the 13-week-old boy had an obstruction in his throat by anyone at the scene, including Travion, his brother Travier, or Cassandra.
Did you tell them that thing went down his throat?
Yeah, they knew about all that. We told them that too, but I'm talking about my brother and sister. They knew too, and they was trying to help.
Did they tell him that on the phone?
I don't know. Like, so the man when this was going on, I was
we'll get a
too
tape.
busy raging, crying, jumping there where I
panicking.
Travion insists the infant was still breathing when paramedics arrived.
They told me they was able to get out, like he was still moving. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can move. You still have some air, like oxygen in your blood a little bit. So it could have been like a solitary.
They killed my baby.
Oh no! They'll contact you when the funeral home can come pick him up.
The medical examiner's office would later determine the infant's cause of death to be asphyxia by choking. Doubt still lingers over how it got in the infant's mouth, as well as why paramedics weren't informed of the obstruction. This brings both Cassandra and Travion back for an interrogation, where investigators seek to find the truth.
When he came to the door, what did he say to you?
He said that the baby's choking. Help.
Okay. Did he say what he was choking on?
A wipe.
Did he actually tell you that at that point in time?
Yes, he said that he was choking on a wipe. But we didn't see anything. We didn't see the wipe. I'm looking, like, my biggest thing was call 911. I know we needed to start compression.
Sure.
His mouth was so small, so that as I'm on the phone 911, I took the step back, like you said. I'm doing the CPR, the compressions and everything. And it seemed like he, I thought was getting air and keep on because he didn't. And then there was nothing.
The question came up during the 911 call as the dispatcher attempted to guide her through performing CPR.
Okay, kneel next to the baby and look in his mouth for food or vomit. Is there anything in his mouth? No.
At the house when we talked, you didn't mention the word baby wipe to me at all.
Yes, I did.
Well, yeah, you didn't. And we were recorded.
Okay.
On the 911 call, nobody mentioned baby wipe. When the EMTs got there, nobody mentioned baby wipe.
However, at the very start of the 911 call, a male's voice can be heard shouting that something was in the infant's mouth.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Still, paramedics said they were never informed when they arrived.
He told me and us 1,000 times that he was choking on a baby.
He told you, how come no one told 911 that?
So it was never said on the 911, like, or I want to hear it because I know that they were screaming that he was choking on a baby.
Nobody mentioned it to the EMTs. Don't you think when a paramedic is there that someone should say he had a baby wipe in his mouth?
Do you understand if you would have been there and all the screaming going on? I literally was trying to get to a baby. So
Okay, I don't know. I don't want to completely like accuse her of this. But if she's trying to protect this dude by trying to say that what? Oh my God, y'all didn't know that the paramedics didn't know that the baby was choking on a baby wipe. Like, dude, if you trying to cover up for this man, it makes it even worse to the point where I'm ready to put your ass in jail too. Because I believe that the paramedics didn't know. And I also believe that y'all didn't tell them. Oh my God, this is such a tragedy tale. Shout out to Ryan. Let's keep going, y'all. We almost done with the live stream. Shout out to y'all for still being here.
you heard, I'm like, compressions, counting. I tried to save that baby. There was nothing I could do.
Nothing you could have done. There's nothing. There's nothing anyone could have done.
When investigators bring up something she said back at the crime scene, it leads to frustration from Cassandra.
What was the blood that you talked about seeing? Where was the blood at?
I didn't see any blood. I never said that. No, I did not.
During their initial walkthrough of the crime scene, Cassandra mentioned what she was told by Travion.
He said that he changed his diaper, was washing, like wiped him up and everything, and that he had just like a little scratch or something on his neck from cutting himself, and then one like on the side of his mouth. And he said he went to like wipe up just the blood and everything, and he said he walked away just for a couple of seconds, and this is the outcome of that. I never said I saw.
You said you saw him wiping blood off.
No, I didn't say I saw. I said he. Stop. Don't do that. Because in a second, please come on. No.
You might have meant
okay.
that.
Okay.
That's what you said.
Okay. Don't do that. He told me because I was like your attack.
Yes.
Like, because I'm
What the
telling
fuck? Hold on. Time out. I'm about to crash out. Time out. I done fucked up everything. Hold on, Bean Team. Time the fuck out. Let me get this shit back right. Because this bitch starting to piss me off now. And we gonna end this live stream with a bang. Fuck that. Why the hell this bitch got a fucking attitude about this shit, man? Like the damn police officers the reason that this damn baby dead. They trying to get to an understanding. And whatever understanding they get to, it's still gonna be nonsensical. It's still gonna be a nonsensical insanity. And now you got this whole attitude about the fucking situation, lady. What the hell? Like I said, and where my girl at? Kylie said it too. Okay, the mother is getting the side out now. Yes, you need to start getting the fucking side out in this shit. Like, what the hell is going on, man? You making yourself look more guilty than we was even looking at you being guilty. By just how you acting, you so defensive, you so protective of the fucking baby daddy who, at this point, we all know done killed this damn baby. The one who put the baby wipe in his mouth. We just trying to get a clear story about the situation, and you got this nasty ass fucking attitude. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to let it out. Let's finish it up.
A long time, but I feel like you keep trying to tell me what I'm saying, and I'm telling you what I'm saying.
Getting nowhere with Cassandra, investigators wrap up the interview, hoping Travion might provide the clarity she didn't. He's left alone for a few moments, where he entertains himself while waiting for investigators.
This is how we do. This is how we do. I'm sure the camera's still in there. Yes, it is.
Detectives sit down with Travion once again, but his interview begins with less cooperation than the first and quickly hits a wall.
I know it sucks, We got to kind of figure out what happened. Because we got a bunch of questions, okay? So, but before we ask the questions, we're going to give you the random ones, okay?
I know, but I'm not speaking without my lawyer.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Then we're going to place you under arrest for murder of the baby.
What?
Based on the evidence that we have.
This ain't no evidence. This ain't like that.
Okay. Stand up and put your hands behind you.
Why am I getting arrested for? Murder. I'm not. Ain't no murder.
Stuffing the rag down your baby.
Why ain't stuffing no rag behind, bro? What? That's not.
Opportunity to explain how that rag got down your baby's throat.
Bro, what?
But you don't want to do that, so just didn't have a shoot. We've talked to doctors. We've talked to the medical examiner. We've talked to
doing everything. Yes.
Yeah,
we're
right.
doing all that. Yes.
Okay.
I understand everything you're saying. Yes.
And every single one of those people tell us that there's no way that a 13-week-old baby picked up a
This
rag,
is my son.
balled it up, and put it in his mouth.
I know he ain't bald. Oh,
I'm not asking any questions. All right.
Just as the detective makes his exit, his passing comment strikes a nerve.
Good luck. All right. Good luck.
So, officer, come here. Come sit. Come. Now, what you saying? Good luck for?
I said good luck with your defense, with your case.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And I mean that. I hope that you can pull it off.
Pull what off, officer? Like this the last something.
Getting out of these charges.
But you saying pull it off like it's the last something, officer.
You said very, very clearly that you tried to pull that rag out of that baby's mouth.
They don't got no. When I went in the room, my baby mom was on the phone the whole time.
I want to talk to you.
Once the detective leaves, Trevion waits on his own with nothing but his thoughts.
Boy, what the? Do I look like some sick individual to any of y'all? It's okay.
Yes.
I bet you I'm gonna win this. Watch this. Getting justice for my son. Arresting an innocent boy. Murder. What? Sick white people. Boy, I swear to God, I hate racist people. Boy, they so racist. Now, if I was white people could be so cruel. Boy, what the?
Officers
Oh, hell no, man. That's another thing I hate. I hate when goddamn other races try to blame other races for they fuck ups. You know what I'm saying, man? You trying to pull the race card, bro. No! You killed your fucking son, bro. Just own it. Just freaking own it.
return and arrest 18-year-old Trevion Hughes Sr., who was later charged with murder, involuntary manslaughter, and 2 counts of endangering children. He entered a plea of not guilty on July 28, 2022, choosing to present his defense at trial. According to news reports, while awaiting trial, Trevion and Asiana welcomed another child, whose young voice can be heard in a call between the 2 parents from jail.
Hey, baby.
Wow.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Miracle.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Daddy, baby.
Daddy. Stop abusing me.
My baby, my baby. Baby, let her hit you. What the hell?
God, man. And I'm finna say something so crazy, but I know it will never happen, and I know it's wrong to make it happen. But this is just a case would make me feel like it should happen. Maybe we need to create some laws or something where some people just can't have kids or something. We gotta tie some tubes, we gotta cut some wires or whatever from the men, the whatever, the vasectomies, whatever it's freaking called, man. We gotta neuter some parents out here being team get spayed like dogs. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, no, man, everybody shouldn't be having kids. Y'all had the audacity to have another kid. This man is locked up in prison for a kid that he'd already murdered. You had another baby by him, and now that the baby that you had by him is going to visit him while he locked up with you for the murder of the first child, and now he daddy say da. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
Don't let her cry.
Let her hit me. Let her hit you.
I am.
Like no baby.
She can hit me all the she want to hit.
That's what I mean. But you still waving at me?
My baby can slap me if she wants to.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
During Travion's trial, which began on May 22, 2024, Asiana testified that she was on FaceTime with Travion at the time of the incident and that she saw him pick up the baby and run out of the room after screaming that he was choking. Tests of the baby wipe revealed the infant's DNA was present, but there was no trace of Travion's. However, while both parents told investigators the infant would regularly grab things and put them in his mouth, a forensic pathologist with the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office testified that a 13-week-old doesn't have the dexterity and ability to force a wipe to the back of their throat, arguing it had to have been placed there intentionally. Ultimately, the jury found Travion guilty. The baby's mother defended Travion during a court hearing, telling the judge he was making a mistake. Travion was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 15 years. An appeal was later filed, arguing that there wasn't enough evidence to prove Travion forced a baby wipe down his son's throat. The appeals court rejected the claims and upheld his conviction. If you'd like to see select new videos early and help us keep uncovering case files that rarely come to light, you'll find extra footage and unseen details on our Patreon. Channel memberships here on YouTube also include early access to select new videos.
Bean team, I'm at a loss for words with that one, man. That was a crazy. See why I like to end it with the EWU stores, man. The EWU Bodycam, EWU Crime Story Time, any channel from EWU, man. I like to end it with it because it just be like, whoa, what the is going on? I'm so flabbergasted by that freaking story, and I know I was using that word earlier. I think that was when we were watching The Lazy Man. I was using that same word, man. Like, dude, what the freak, man? What the hell? And I also want to say what the hell, because for the very first time, y'all, the very first time, Bean Team, Beck 77 says, hi, sir, Bean. I have to watch this later, but wanted to say hi from Australia, y'all. Shout out to Beck. Beck, I freaking love you. Beck has been a freaking just a huge supporter of our channel for years now, Being Team. Back when I had like 1,000 and some subscribers, Beck has always been here. Beck is truly an OG, and I thank you, Beck, for leaving this comment finally in a live stream, man. Thank you for that, Beck. But y'all, this is freaking crazy, this last one, man. And I'm 100% convinced. I'm 100% convinced. I'm 100% convinced that this man put that baby wipe in his 3-month-old baby's mouth because he was tired of hearing him crying. And he killed him. I'm convinced of that. I'm really convinced of that. There's no way no 3-month-old baby has access to baby wipes laying in his little crib or whatever to put them in his mouth. And it's so crazy how the mother condoned the whole issue. Not condoned it, but tried to protect the father. Had another baby by the father. It's like, oh, our first child died, but we'll have another one and we gonna love him, and you still in prison because of our baby father, our first baby's death. But it's okay, father, you can come back and be a father to this one after 15 years if you get out, because he got life in prison, but it's after 15 years he get parole. And I hope after 15 years they say no, your parole denied, and he stay in there. He need to be in there for the rest of his life. Being seen need to be in there for the rest of his life. But I digress, y'all. I freaking digress, man. I'm gonna let y'all go, Big Team. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. Like, this has been a long live stream. I thought it was gonna be like 3 hours, but it is 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 38 seconds long. You know what I'm saying? At that time of me saying that. So we have most definitely been here for a long time, but we had a lot of different channels that we had to go to. And for the most part, all y'all still stuck with me. Like I said, we have consistently had at least 20 people in here. Right now it's 21 people. So I appreciate y'all being here. And before y'all leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe. If you ain't did all that, and remember this: love, peace, and happiness Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.